Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, September 30th. It's about 7 p.m. We are here tonight in Town Hall for a Planning Zoning Commission public hearing and general meeting. It's kind of a shorter agenda tonight, and there's also a Yankee game going on, so we're going to try to make it fast and be efficient with our time and talking. We get right into it. For the public hearing, the first item on the agenda, I'm going to read it into the record, but it's going to be immediately continued, but here we go. Continuation of public hearing regarding land filling and regrading application number 593, also known as PL 25-110, Mark Stranowski and Randall Saul Stranowski at 13 Hollow Tree Ridge Road. Proposal to raise the existing residence and construct a new single-family development and perform related site development activities, including the regrading of the property to accommodate the improvements and installation of stormwater management. The 0.26 plus or minus acre subject property is located on the west side of Hollow Tree Ridge Road, approximately 30 feet north of its intersection with Wilson Ridge Road, and is shown on Assessor's Map number 47 as lot 123 in the R1/3 zone. This application is to be immediately continued. Do you want to make any comments, gentlemen, on this?
I would just note that the commission opened this hearing on September 9th and continued it to this evening. The hearing is going to be immediately continued again to November 18th at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. This is to allow the applicant to respond to multiple civil engineering concerns, as well as perform some soil testing on the site relative to potential wetlands. So we're going to continue it to November 18th at 7 p.m. in the auditorium.
Okay, thank you, Fred. So if anybody's here for 13 Hollow Tree Ridge Road this evening, you can welcome to come back on November 18th. Next item on the agenda. Proposed amendments to the Darien zoning regulations, COZR number 3-2025, also known as PL 25-120, put forth by Heights Corner LLC. Proposal to amend section 746 of Darien zoning regulation to include a new note G under the area and bulk requirements, which will allow up to 50% of the basement floor area for amenity space for residents of affordable and market rate apartments, and rooftop amenity vestibule for outside rooftop amenity space, without counting those spaces as full stories. Proposal to amend section 748 of the Darien zoning regulations to include a new subsection H, which would remove the 10,000 square foot minimum public plaza area on development sites of less than 2 acres. The full text of the proposed amendments are on file and available in Town Clerk's office and the Planning and Zoning Office for inspection, and online at darient.ct.viewpointcloud.com as PL 25-120. Gentlemen, what do we got?
So, Steve, this zoning text amendment is being put forth by the applicant, Heights Corner LLC. The amendments to the regulations being put forth tonight are intended to enable the site plan and redevelopment of the 90, 100, and 188 Heights Road property being proposed by the applicant under a separate application. I sent you all an email earlier today relative to splitting up the current application within our OpenGov application system to handle these applications separately. So tonight the commission will hear the proposed zoning amendments, and then another night, likely to be October 7th at this point, the commission will then hear the site plan and special permit application for the redevelopment of the site.
We started that practice years ago.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always 2 separate applications, but I don't know what the applicant's representative is going to say tonight, but he may touch on what they're thinking about doing if these changes get made, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So the changes consist of amendments to section 746 of the zoning regulations, which are the Norotan Heights Business Zone regs to allow up to 50% of the basement area for amenity space for residents, and 2, a rooftop vestibule for outside amenity space without counting those spaces as full stories. I'll remind the commission that currently the regulations treat the finishing of any basement or attic space as full stories.
Is that consistent throughout the town, or is that just in the NH district?
It's consistent throughout the town in our commercial districts.
Okay, 'cause we had issues with that with regards to Brooks Brothers.
Correct.
Yep.
For residential zones, 50% is a half a story, but any commercial zone, any finishing of that space will make that space a full story. The applicant also proposes to amend section 748 of the regulations to remove the 10,000 square foot minimum public plaza area on development sites less than 2 acres. I'll again remind the commission that the plaza space is really an incentive. The commission may permit building height to be increased to 3 stories and 45 feet from 2 stories and 30 feet with a plaza. So if the developer doesn't need the incentive, there's no need for the developer to require there's no requirement for the developer to provide the plaza. And currently, the regs require plazas to be not less than 5% of the lot area or 10,000 square feet, whichever is greater. And then finally, for the commission to adopt the amendments, you must make the finding that the proposal is consistent with the 2016 Town Plan of Conservation and Development.
Now, that plaza requirement, is that all over town, or is that just in the NH district?
That is consistent with the NH zone, the Norotan Heights Business Zone, as well as the Central Business District.
I think this might be specific to this zone. I'm not sure.
It applies to the Corbin District as well.
Yeah, but that's a sub-district.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about small sites, that thing's 10 acres. Okay, you good?
Yeah, so Attorney Maslin is here this evening to present the application and
Frank?
answer questions you have.
One question, real quick. Is it 10,000 feet or 5%, and whichever's bigger is the minimum requirement?
Correct.
Correct.
So in this
Yeah.
case, it wouldn't be 10,000 feet, it would be 5%, because 10,000 feet is like half,
an acre,
2% of the lot.
That's correct.
So 5% is what we're talking about here.
That's
I have
Plus,
a
we're
slide on
also,
that, so-
also merging lots.
Yeah.
So everybody knows, this is the site I've been talking about for probably 6 months. It's the piece of land that's on the corner of Edgerton and Heights Road. It was effectively known as part of the Prayer Factory a bunch of years back, which is way before my time. But Reese Hutchinson remembers that, and your buddies with Reese. The Vacaros, the V20 group, built Heights Crossing on the left, then it jumps over Edgerton Street, and then Federal is on the right. And the next 2 buildings are Leary's Liquor, Sandra's Cleaners, and Valvalla's, and then you get into Federal. So this is basically there's actually one other piece left on the street, which is the old Subway Best Ever Cleaners. But if this plan to get redeveloped gets done properly, we're going to have a fully connected sidewalk all the way from from Hollow Tree Ridge Road down to Norotan Avenue, which is something we've been working on for over 20 years. Almost 20 years. We're missing one piece.
Almost completely connected.
It's almost
There's a
complete.
little strip, but
There's a
we're
little
getting there.
strip. We're going to try. Mr. Maslin, welcome.
Good evening, Attorney Robert Maslin, representing the applicant Heights Corner LLC, and I know I'm gonna misstate it as Heights Crossing, but it's Heights Corner for this one. John Vaccaro, Joe Vaccaro, Phil Cerrone, the architect, and Rob Pryor from Landtech, the project engineer, are all here. So on the way the application is structured, what we used to do is have one application that had a text amendment or a zoning amendment with the underlying site plan or whatever we were looking for. And under the old system before OpenGov, you could split them off without much ado. Now that there's OpenGov, and I guess the preference is to have 2 separate electronic files of
Well,
these
I don't care.
applications.
I don't care about the electronic file. We've split it between two
Yeah,
applications.
but you've
years
often,
ago.
yeah, you've often just said, okay, we're going to decide one before the other, and you just treat them separately.
No.
So I spent the better part of the day today arranging that with Fred, and I managed to get a PowerPoint presentation focused just on the text amendments, so that
Cool.
I'd,
Can't have one without the other.
all right, so,
Can't have the other without the other.
I'm sorry, just quickly, is there some place where I can go on OpenGov to find the text amendment? Because I'm unable to download it from the email I'm sending.
PL
There was
25,
the last email.
152.
154, is it?
154, I'm sorry.
154?
PL 25-154.
Oh, okay, so I'm looking at a different one. Thank you. All right.
I'm not sure everything is in it the way it ordinarily would be, because
So
we're
you made a
switching
new one
things
for the
back and
text
forth.
amendment, and
Yes.
120 is the.
Yeah, the lower number is the site plan.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it, George?
Yeah. There's the text and then the pen is all the other graphic. There you go.
Very good, thank you.
Oh,
You guys good?
Well, if Adam will email that to me, I will be terrific.
We're good,
Why-
we're good,
Why are
we're
you
good.
doing that? Go ahead. Take it away.
Yep.
We got a
All right,
Yankee
so-
to get to.
The site, as Fred mentioned, and these numbers are fouled up. I don't know how it ended up this way, but it's the corner of the old prayer factory and the parking lot across the other corner. And I probably knew the guys that started calling it the prayer factory, because it's what the police department called when they did escorts to the bank at the end of the day. So our considerations here generally are to redevelop and revitalize
Yeah, that's right.
this site. I have some photographs we can look at later, but if you've been out there and you're familiar with Heights Road, it's not very attractive. And with the developments underway, Darien, whatever, and Heights Crossing, it looks even less inviting. Create an inviting walkable link between Darien Commons, that's what it is, and Heights Crossing. As you mentioned, Mr. Chairman, architectural designs consistent with, and sort of complementary to, Phil is here if you want to talk about the architecture, but designed to fit in with Heights Crossing.
And Palmer's, right? I mean, your
Pal-
first
well-
neighbors is Palmer's.
Palmer's is now just the store.
Correct.
You know, the rest of it is-
Post office and the dry
is-
cleaners and the fitness
Yeah, the
place.
things in front of but the real interest is blending in with the big project that the Vaqueros are.
Right, plus you also
Yeah.
have
Okay.
Wells Fargo. But go ahead.
So what I have first here is the actual amendments, and then I'll kind of go through some general considerations later so that we know what we're looking for right off the bat. So I added this one. This one has to be noticed, but I wanted to mention it to you anyway.
Do you mind terribly moving your laptop a little bit?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's
Because
blocking the
it's blocking
screen.
up. Oh, there you go, even better, thank you.
Okay. Right now, business and professional offices are allowed on the first floor by special permit in the NH zone. But it's limited to the service type, real estate offices, travel agents. I haven't seen a travel agent in years. But those types of uses. And in light of the way that both of these major projects have come on board, does it make sense to continue that limitation, or should we open it up to not huge professional and business offices, but I put a 15,000 square foot limit on it, still by special permit? So it opens the door to a broader category of offices, and that's really it. And it would help if perhaps there might be a tenant in the wings, but that's the
We
purpose
have
for this.
Edward Jones on the street, you have Citibank on the street, you
Yeah.
have Medical One or
Yeah.
Medical One, which is inside.
But technically, those are considered within those
Shopping center.
unique type of service things, you know. But if you wanted a little bit bigger office that didn't have a retail walk-in business, you know.
We have a law office next to Sanders News, but go ahead, that's fine.
Right. Okay, so that's the first one. And, you know, the purpose obviously is to, as I mentioned, expand it to those types of offices. Now, let's see if I can, how do I do this?
So this is 743 is in addition to 746 and 73. But that wasn't noticed, so.
I was
okay.
gonna
Yes.
say, should we consider that since it wasn't noticed?
No,
No.
we have to continue it. I got to send it down to the clerk's office and renotice it. But
Yeah.
I was going to just suggest it tonight, but since we juggled around the applications and the narrative, I just thought I would just add it in.
Okay.
In the area and bulk requirements, this is a lot of added stuff, but the reason for it is to basically fill a little bit of a gap. If we go back to, and this is kind of tied to the 10,000-foot revision as well. If we go back to when the 10,000-foot requirement came in, if I remember right, I was involved in that application. I may have done it with Bruce Hill when he and I both were working for, he was working for Darien Commons, and I was representing the Palmers in the initial application. My view on it was it would make sense to create large developments like the two that are underway and have an additional floor, but have a public plaza requirement very similar to the public plaza requirement in Corbin, which I came up with as well. So 10,000 square feet seemed to work because obviously in a larger project, you really want some public plaza space, and I think it's really worked out well so far. It worked, and it all goes back to Penny's Grove Street, where there's a public plaza that's very popular. But on smaller lots, when you get into these, you know, less than 2 acres, it's a big chunk of the property, 10,000 square feet. And I have a table that's going to compare or list, it's kind of a quasi-Cunningham table, but anyway, the incentives here would be some finished space for the residences in the basement, and it would be basically amenity space, and I'll show you a concept in a little bit. And a vestibule area where you'd get off the elevator and walk out onto the roof for some small roof amenity space. And in order to do that one, the overall building height has to go up to the flat roof above the vestibule, just for that small area. But you need to change the regulations in order to do that. So those are.
You're not tying the public plaza to the basement and the roof, right?
Public plaza.
The public plaza is for the
Well,
public.
it's all
I
one
can't go on the roof.
combined thing. Pardon?
I can't go on the roof.
Oh, no,
of the
no, no,
building,
no.
And I can't go in the
No.
basement.
No.
Okay.
But this has to do also with the 585 incentives under the affordable housing as well. So it fills a hole where there's no defined or no well-defined incentive in terms of building height for this particular area. And that's really all this is intended to do.
Bob,
Okay.
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
It looks like the site as a whole is greater than 2 acres.
Oh, no, it's 1.33 something.
1.3386 acres.
Oh, I see.
58, it's 58,000.
That's all 3 lots together. It's-
Together.
Right. I'm not even going down that road where you split them all up. We're trying to make this fit within the intent of all these development concepts that we've had over the years. So the next one is a new subdivision H, and this deals with that 10,000 square feet. And what we do here is you remove the 10,000 square foot minimum, and I'll show you some of the math that makes sense. But you still have the minimum 3,500 square foot for at least one, with 35 by 35 box inside it. So it has to be a good dimension. And for the smaller lots, it makes it available for somebody. If they want to make a building that goes up a little bit higher than the underlying zone, you can do it, and the incentive is there without taking most of the property. And you'll see some of these lots, you can't even do it. So those are the three. Okay, so the reason here that I laid out, it eliminates what I call grossly disproportionate plaza requirement for smaller lots.
But you
May-
took credit for that at the beginning, right?
But-
It was your idea way back when?
It was, but
Okay,
think
just
about
making
think
sure we're on
about
the
it.
record. It was your idea to
I
put in a
had-
10,000
we
square foot
had
buffer, and now it's your idea to
Darien
take it out.
Commons, which is way over the,
It's,
Right?
I'm not saying what it is.
and we had the original
I understand.
Norotan Shopping Center, which has now been reduced because Palmer, the Palmer Market is off. That's what happened here, and this is sometimes how zoning regulations evolve.
Sometimes.
I knew you were going to get me on that.
I know, you've done it many times, Bob.
In other
But
words,
we have other
you're saying I
sites that-
shot myself in the foot, is that?
Pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. But it does maintain the 5% requirement. Maintains the existing 3,500 and 35 by 35. We're not touching the 80% maximum site developed area, so you still need the 20% green. And where you have a plaza that's all concrete, that doesn't count as green because it's not impervious. So lots over 2 acres maintains the 10,000 square feet. And here's some examples of these. So the 10,000 square foot requirement breaks even at 4.59 acres. 10,000 square feet is 5% of 4.59 acres. On a 2-acre site, instead of 5%, the 10,000 feet gets you to 11.5. So that's a little over twice what the 5% requirement is. For the applicant's site, which is less than 2 acres, it's 17.1%, which is 3.4 times the 5%.
But you know there are other sites on that street that are on the market for sale that are under 2 acres.
Well, here they are. So I did a quasi-Cunningham table with numbers. So starting at the low end by Norotan Avenue, 22 Heights Road and 26 are the old dry cleaners, that
Somewhere.
area. This is, I think, a hairdresser now. Point 2, and you can't do it at all for the top 3 because the lot area is less than 10,000 square feet. And if you just applied the 5%, you're still getting 436 square feet of plaza.
But 22 and 26 are for sale together.
Okay,
That's one.
well,
of
you
them,
just combine those.
just like you did.
154, same thing. It's 9,148 square feet. You can't even do it. 166 is 0.41 acres, and that is the 10,000 is over half the site has to be public plaza if you leave the 10% applying to that. 186, same thing. The lot area is too small. And by the way, I got these numbers from the assessors. I didn't go get surveys on all of them. 74 is a half acre. That's 45.9% if you leave the 10,000 square foot in. 264 Edgerton is the parking lot behind Palmer's store. It's the employees' parking, pretty much. Half acre, same thing, 45.9. 310 Heights Road, which is on the other side of the project, I believe. Is this, that's Webster, Wells Fargo. 44% would be public plaza. And 76 Heights, that's obviously Darien Commons. They're over the 10%, so that, I mean, they're way over 2 point, whatever I said before, but their requirement's 19,000 something square feet, so that doesn't affect them at all. 346 is the other B20 group property, and that one, we're over 10%, but 10% is 5.8% of the what was I going to say, of the project site. So, and then this project, 1.339 acres total, and if, like I said before, if you apply the 10,000 square foot, that's 17% of the property.
Right, but you're missing the point. Sanders Cleaners and Valvalas and those buildings are 2 stories now. There's no reason to make them 3 stories.
If somebody
Okay, there's
takes
nothing-
out a
there's
building
nothing
and
wrong
wants to,
with- There's nothing wrong with a 2-story building, right?
you could say there's nothing wrong with the per factor either, but do we want to
There's
keep
not,
it or
but the
knock
prayer
down and
factor's
build
also
something nice?
older than you are.
The what?
The prayer factor is also older
No.
than you are.
No.
You know that. I mean,
I'll stop there,
I
but
was
no,
here when
there's-
they built Sanders Cleaners and Valvalas and all that stuff.
It was in the 50s, right?
No, Sanders Cleaners and Valvalas? No, I was.
Oh, Valvalas, that's older, but not the per factory.
No, but there's nothing wrong with the 2-story building, right? If Leary Liquors wants to get redone, which is 186 Head Road, they could easily sell it to the people that own 188.
They don't have to do it if they don't want to.
I understand that, but there's nothing wrong with a 2-story building,
Correct.
right? So the incentive is, if you want to make a 3-story building, that's why you have to put in the 10,000 square feet. That's what you wrote back when it was drafted.
Just, I'm sorry,
If you want to be incentivized to make a 3-story building, that's why it's there.
yeah.
The site which is Best Ever's Cleaners and Subway and the hair salon, that thing's on the market for an astronomical price. And the only way to make it economic sense at all is to build a 3-story building.
Mhm.
So if we lifted that, then that one goes into play. What you would do with that is incorporate that building with Federal, which is behind it, and merge the lots.
If Federal wants to buy that and do it,
They might.
I don't think they
They
need
might.
it because they would combine
they
it.
might.
And they'd meet
But they
the
might.
10%, and they'd just have to add
Correct, but they might.
more to their 5%.
Okay. Understood.
You know, and the same here. The problem is that there's another property in between, Palmer's. That's not part of the
Right.
Heights
Right,
crossing.
Um,
So
But now remember, inside the Darien Commons site, all those pathways, those strips of land going up to the dog park, which faces,
comes out on Norotan Avenue.
right, that's all public plaza. All the
Right.
sidewalks that are in the middle of those things, because that's the connectivity. I mean, I walked it on Friday night. The whole thing is connected. And
Yeah,
all those sidewalks are all public plaza. Because we moved it around. They don't have to be contiguous.
Now, you mean
No, it starts at, it goes to west.
up here?
Correct. That is a public plaza.
Yeah,
And the sidewalk going down from that dog park to the front door of Equinox to the middle of the site is all public plaza.
yeah.
And the site that's in front of the stairs going up over to McGuan Field is all public plaza.
It all works if the developer has control over all of it.
Understood.
But if they don't, you know,
Understood. But it doesn't have to be one 10,000 square foot chunk of dirt.
correct. It's got to be,
As
minimum
long as
is
we're on the same page,
3,500.
because we're not staring at your site plan now, which is fine, but
No.
the public plaza is fungible.
Yes. But you do need that 3,500 square foot minimum, 35 by 35.
In your proposal.
And that's staying in place. That's not going anywhere. Okay. Where was I? So what I think I can do is, I have some slides that I can show you kind of conceptually what we're thinking, or I can ask John to come up and give you some of his thoughts.
I'd rather have the architect. No offense to John.
You
He's the one that
what?
designed it. I ain't let him talk.
Oh,
I mean, I said this to you a million times. I want to talk to him, not you.
nice to be
Because
loved.
you're speaking for him. He can speak for himself. He's a big boy.
So these are the renderings I got here.
Before you pass the baton, if you wipe out this 10,000 square foot minimum, I don't see on here what you made it down to.
What do you
just made
mean?
it 0?
It's the 5%.
It would it's 5%.
would remain.
So on yours, the plaza would be 2,900 square feet, right? It's
oh,
58, it's
Let me
58.
go back to my table. 2,916 feet.
That's correct, but the minimum would kick in.
That's the minimum at 5%.
Correct. So you're
This-
going from 10,000 down to under 3,000. That's your proposal? Yes or no?
No, that's not the proposal for the site. It's the proposal for the text amendment.
Correct, correct.
Just so you know, we're working on getting more than just that.
I
So,
understand, I
you know.
understand, but if the next, if Best Ever Cleaners and Subway comes along with the other one, they're gonna be 5%. If they're
Yeah.
gonna go minimum, they can be 2,900 square feet, right?
they need 3,500.
Where's the 3,500 cap inside here?
Sorry?
Where's the 3,500 cap inside here?
3,500 is a minimum anyway.
Where is it?
The floor.
It's the floor.
Where
It
does
is
say-
It's a
in,
section of the regs in section,
Section 746.
So he's not proposing to change that, so therefore that box would remain.
746, where does it say 3,500 square feet?
748, correct?
Yeah, 748D.
Your area of at least one of the sides would be 35 by 35. And you are not proposing to change that or eliminate that.
We're just changing the 10,000. We're not changing the 3,500. So all these on the chart that are less than,
So the floor would be
3,500.
3,500.
But that-
With your
You-
text amendments,
your floor is 2,900.
your floor minimum would be 3,500.
yes, under 2 acres. Over 2 acres, you still need the 10,000.
So the 10,000 square feet is effectively going to 3,500 square feet.
And then when you come to present in front of somebody else, you're gonna change that again?
Well, I did the other one about 10 years ago, so
Okay.
if it's okay, if once every 10 years is okay with you. No,
Okay.
the progression of it is from the original 2.5 times public plaza for a third floor that was across all of Corbin, all of CBD. Then we created Corbin and had a different requirement that required larger public plaza areas because it's a much bigger site. So it made sense, rather than have these little lawn around a flagpole and, that stuff that really doesn't matter. And then when we ended up here at Norotan Heights, we kind of carried the concept through, but back then tried to set it up so it would be consistent with Tom Golden's original concept for Norotan Heights generally, and we had 2 large enough sites where 10,000 square feet would work fine. And that's the evolution of all of this, and now we see what those 2 sites are starting to shape up to be. And then now we have another site that's going to be redeveloped, and, sometimes you just wait and see what happens and you
Okay.
change your corner. I get it.
Right now, the public plaza requirement is cross town or only in the Norotan Heights
Cross town.
cross tip? So this one would only apply to Norotan Heights.
The public
That's
plaza is, the one we're talking about tonight, yes. But
So
there's
then-
still a
but you can
public,
imagine some future person who's not in Norotan Heights comes and says, you guys did this in Norotan Heights, why didn't you do it for the whole town when the regulation is town-wide?
well, you can call me, and if I'm not representing the applicant, I'll explain why not. I mean,
But it seems like
No.
we're making it
Townwide.
specific instead of town-wide. We're making
That's
it
right.
worse.
Well, the idea here is you're looking at one specific area, one zone, and how do you want the zone developed? Another example of how this kind of works is with shared parking under the, what is it, 9, whatever. Anywhere else, your shared parking will work if the traffic consultants can establish to your satisfaction that the number of spaces on a site are sufficient. In Norotan Heights, the cap on that is a 50% reduction. So you can't do shared parking and have more than a 50% reduction in the gross total of required parking. So that's an example where it's zone specific, but it's, again, a concept that evolves as sites get developed, as, you know, properties get torn down and rebuilt or repurposed. You know, things change and you change accordingly. Phil? Oh, let me get back.
Phil, welcome, sir. Just state your name for the record.
For the record, my name is Philip Cerrone. I'm an architect. My office is in Fairfield, Connecticut. So, let's see. This probably gives you a good overview of the project, right? So this is Edgerton here, Heights Road here. And what we've done is we've created basically we kind of framed the corner with our building. And we can show you some renderings. We printed some of them. So this is what you see, what you would see from this corner over here. It's a 3-story building, as was stated previously. And the way the grades work, it slopes from here down. So on the corner of the building here, we'd have some steps and some ramps to get into the building. But this area is prone to some flooding, so we tried to mitigate that by raising the building up and raising the site up along that side as well as on the other side. On the other side of Edgerton, we have some parking here, and then we have landscape buffers around it. And this rendering is still being developed, but you'll notice when you look at some of our newer site plans, we've actually flipped some of the landscaping to this side to shield the parking even more from the street, but that's a lot of our public space over there. The building, as stated earlier, is commercial on the first floor, residential on the second floor, residential on the third floor. And then one of the driving forces here is we do have some rooftop space on top, which this is an elevator and a stair. Sorry.
How big's the footprint, Phil?
The footprint's about 10,000 square feet, okay? But let me rephrase that. The first floor is about 10,000 square feet. The second floor and the third floor is actually project over some of the parking so that some of the parking is underneath the building. So the second and third floors are about 13,000 to 14,000 square feet each. And then,
hold on 1 second. Then why do you want office space for 15,000 feet if your building's only 10?
It's just a regulation change.
Okay.
We can put a different number in it if you'd like.
Okay. I'm just,
yeah, the first floor is a little bit under 10,000 square feet. And that actually does include, there's a couple staircases and the elevator. There's just one staircase in the elevator that goes to the roof, which limits us on how much rooftop space we can have. We have about 750 square feet of outdoor space on the roof and about 750 or a little bit less than that as indoor space. The indoor space on the roof is an elevator, stair, and then a little bit of a lobby and some mechanical space. The building is mostly glass. Do we have the renderings? I can show them. I can use the boards otherwise, but.
Yeah, use the boards.
Okay, fine. So
Because this, I just have
I'm
the
gonna do
other
it the
bird's eye.
old-fashioned way. So, I mean, here's
the
a-
other, Phil, that's the other rendering.
okay, so this is the parking lot side. So as you can see, I'm sorry if I'm in your way there. As you can see, some of the parking is underneath the building on these two sides. And then on the street side, it's not, but, so that gives us extra square footage on the second and the third floors. And then you'll enter off of Edgerton, off Edgerton over here, or off of Heights on that side over here, so you have circulation that goes through. And then, of course, we have the parking across the street on the other side of Edgerton.
now, in your plan, the Heights Corners part, where's the front door to the apartment building? Where's the front door to the retail space?
So that door there, which would be on the corner of Heights, on the corner of Heights and on the corner of Heights and Edgerton, is really the main entrance to the first floor, which would be more the commercial space. This is the parking lot side of the building. So on the parking lot side of the building, we have a stair tower here, and then we have a lobby here in the middle. So basically, in this crux of the building here is where was the circulation for the residential area. So it kind of breaks a little bit of that space. So anybody who's parking here can go in here. You, of course, can use the other door, but.
So, but your retail space got stairs going with it?
I'm sorry, the retail space, part of the retail space on the
No,
corner,
that right there.
yeah, on the corner, there's some stairs to get into the building. There's also a ramp that's adjacent to that for accessibility. As the building goes to the other two directions, it becomes flush to the exterior grades.
Have you ever designed that before?
Have I ever designed a building with stairs?
With stairs going into the retail space?
Sure, I mean, because you can get to the space from the other side also. So from this side here, you can also get to the first floor retail space. So the retail space would go through the building from end to end. I don't know if you have floor plans.
I've never seen that in my life.
Do you have floor plans by any chance? Well, there's one there.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep.
Yeah, but that's the
into
basement.
I hear you.
No, I didn't put all the floor plans in
Now,
because.
where is this public plaza going to be? That's what we're talking about.
Oh,
I know you have the site plan in there.
yeah, that I have.
Why don't we use the Rob's board?
Rob, can we use your board?
Because you're cutting the public plaza down from 10,000 feet to 35.
Right, so here, I'm gonna steal Rob's thunder now, so. All right, so this is Heights Road, Edgerton. So as I said earlier, I'm sorry guys, as I said earlier, we've created our public plaza space mostly here, pushed the parking over to this way over here. So we have green public plaza space here, as well as around the site here, but most of it is in this area right here.
So how many square feet is your public plaza?
I don't, Rob, do you remember the number of that?
What's the percentage?
It's evolving, it's close to.
He can't answer, you have to answer.
It's about 10,000 square feet.
So then what do you need this regulation change?
Hold on. This is a work in process. This came out within the last couple of days.
That's fine.
I filed the
That's fine.
application a while
That's
ago.
fine.
But the idea is to try to make as much public plaza space as we can and still make sense,
All
so.
right, talk to me about the connectivity between the Palmer's post office and the other side. Is that the brick sidewalk? That's something we're
Rob,
talking
come on
about.
up. Rob's the site guy, so I'm gonna let him address his own.
We're trying to connect
State your
Palmer's to Federal.
Get down to the-
For the record,
For the record, my name's Robert Pryor, professional engineer and land surveyor with Land Tech. So if we're looking at connectivity through the site, there's several things we did. Obviously, as we stated before, we're getting all the sidewalk, street connections done. But in addition to that, so if we're oriented yourself, Darien Commons is here.
Your hands right on Bear Bar.
Yep. So they have, we're proposing a mid-block crosswalk here.
There's already a curb cut right there.
There's a small section, small 90-degree sidewalk right there that
Yeah.
stops. So that sidewalk will obviously continue down to Heights Crossing, to Heights Road.
There's a pedestrian curb cut right where your thumb is.
Right, you're right, there's a small 90-degree sidewalk that
Yeah.
was put in as part of, I'm assuming, the Darien
Yep.
Commons project.
For future connectivity. And you're
We
gonna
are
have-
proposing the mid-block crosswalk.
Yep.
We ran that through Police Commission, they were good with that. Then we are proposing a sidewalk that cuts through the site, and that'll be somewhat a different material. Either some kind of a textured brick pattern type of thing. That will connect directly to the parking area. It actually connects kind of to there's a little concrete spot in the corner of the Palmer's building right there. That'll connect directly to that.
That's
There's
the front
one
door- that's the
small
front door of the
area
post-
that.
That's the front door of the post office.
Yeah, exactly. They'll have to, someone who's using that would have to cross, there is a vehicular cross connection there, so they'll have to cross there.
Yep.
Then they'll have the ability to go to the post office, the gym, I forget,
Staircase that goes up.
and then there's the staircase that goes up to the Palmer's level. So they can walk directly essentially from here to there. They don't have to go all the way down to Heights Road to get there.
Perfect. Now, what the Vacaros did over at, it's called Darien Place, which is the old theater, they put a beautiful brick crosswalk in the middle of Grove Street.
And I think
I'm guessing
that,
that might be.
and I think, subject
But in the
to,
parking lot we're talking about.
yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what we're looking to do here. We're looking to do something that's very clearly different than a standard concrete walk through there. And then, you know, there's also the potentials, obviously, subject to Public Works approval if we were to do some kind of a patterned crosswalk at that mid-block crosswalk.
Stamped asphalt.
Stamped asphalt, something like that, that's maintainable, but it's something different.
The Baywater's doing that at Corbin District to connect basically the front door of their plaza to Webster Bank and Darien Sports Shop.
And
They got permission from the state of Connecticut.
yeah. I guess the only, and I just going back to one thing, I think, and when we were talking about the front stairs up into the retail, so, you know, there's a doorway here, that's a flush condition. And then this, right here, this is just, you're just walking up a slight incline to get up. So that's a ramp, that's an 88 ramp that you can walk up to that you can either walk up, or if you're in a wheelchair, you could go up as a ramp to get to the front door. And you have the same situation over here, where you could get, you look at that site and it looks very flat. There's significant grade change from one corner to the other. And so you really have to accommodate, and you don't want to sink this building down too low.
Right, so let's go back to the public plaza, because the way I envision it, and I'm a pretty smart person, is someone's gonna walk out of the front door of Darien Commons, right? And they're gonna walk to the train station. It's all protected sidewalks from the front two doors of Darien Commons, in front of Magnolia, in front of the place where I would never get food, but I like those places anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
Delicious.
I know, but I'm, and then you get to that sidewalk, right? You go in front of Bear, you get to that sidewalk, and if you have a Starbucks in the corner of your Heights corners,
Okay.
I want to walk into that Starbucks, get my cup of coffee, run across the street to the train and not be late. That's what I'm gonna do.
Perfect.
Can you do that with your plan?
Oh, yeah, sure, because there's a sidewalk, there's sidewalk all the way down. There's existing crosswalk that's going to be maintained there.
You're gonna need one on the other
If
side.
you were coming from this direction, there's a crosswalk here that's going to be maintained. That
Yeah.
sidewalk's going to continue across now.
You're
So
also
then you'd
gonna-
grab your coffee, and then you'd go across to the train.
So where's all your public plaza?
So public plaza space will be comprised of this area, which, again, this is sort of schematic, because we've made some changes, and our landscape architect hasn't fully developed that public plaza area yet. And then I think we're considering that some of this area through here would be considered it.
Right, that's what we did for Federal. That little crosswalk that connects the post office to Bear Bar and Federal is public plaza.
I think we
And
did
the
some
space in the front, where's the public plaza on 7th Cedric? In the back? Only in the back or in the front too?
All in the front.
Yeah, I believe it fronts Sedgwick, if my memory serves
Yes.
me right.
Right.
All in the front.
I think it's similar at Heights Crossing too. We have the big plaza in the middle, and then it extends through across the road and then into toward the back building as well.
Because at 7th Sedgwick, the part that's in the front, which you have it as brown, is also public plaza. 7th Sedgwick is under construction right now.
I'm not familiar with the project.
That's fine, but he should be, he's representing all you guys. So if you add all these things up, how many square feet do you get?
We're close to the 10,000. We are
Okay,
close to the
so we don't need
10,000.
the.
I think that the-
Suggest something. If we make the 10,000, we can pull it.
What's that?
If we make the 10,000, we'll pull that part of this text amendment.
You may have to.
I guess
But
part-
my approach on these is, don't try to count little slivers here and there. Come up
But
with
we already
a
do
good
little slivers
size.
here and there, we do it all over town.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
I don't do the little slivers all over town.
We did.
You do.
Right, we're the planning and zoning commission, you're just the applicants.
Yeah, but I try to do a better job.
I think part of it too is, the question of whether the commission, and it sounds like you would consider that as part of the public plaza space.
Right, there's
And then, so there's some
precedents that-
subjectivity to that, and
There's precedents that we already have.
I think that what the commission's saying is if you could call out, run the math on, I'll call it the east parcel, not only the big piece, but whatever other green space, and then call out what you would suggest on the western parcel.
Yeah,
Because you already did it.
I think we're happy to, I think we don't have an issue giving you the numbers, for sure. I don't have them in front of me right now, but
Right, that's fine.
I think that we're close, but that's a result of, and as Bob said, this is a plan that's evolved probably in the last few days, and for some input
Right, I mean, I give the Carls a ton of credit. I think they closed on the sale of the property September 1st, and now it's September 30th, and they already got a fully developed site plan. Pretty fast.
So,
you know?
Personally,
It's good stuff.
15,
you know, I know
What's
we're
that?
not talking about this.
15.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, if I could add one thing back to your question about the steps. I just want you to know that our project next door, the McCarles project next door, is very similar in that a lot of those retail spaces actually have steps on the one side and they're flush on the other, similar to how this project would be.
Which store?
There's, right, some of those, I don't know who's in those stores, yeah, from Heights Road.
The only one that has steps is Goddard.
Yeah, the
The
backside,
backside, they're all flush.
the backside of building two.
The front door of your building, what's gonna say Starbucks on top, is gonna be on the corner.
Yeah, but you have the ramp.
I'm
It is
just- I'm-
it
no,
is
I'm-
accessible from grade on the other side.
Right, I've never seen it.
In fact, the access from the parking garage on Heights Crossing also has ramps and stairs to get up to that retail
Right.
space.
Right, I've never seen it.
Exactly, yeah.
Of course you can, John.
Watch out for these wires.
Just state your name for the record, sir.
Owner and developer and Darien resident. So to address this difference in elevation, the one thing that we kept thinking about the whole time when we started the whole project is how do we avoid flooding, okay? The parking lot that is a parking lot today is going to be a parking lot in the future. That always flooded, okay?
Correct.
We talked to the Learys, and they said, October last year, they have water in their store. That site today, the middle site, is about 2 feet below road grade. It has curb cuts on Heights. Obviously, we're eliminating all the curb cuts on Heights for that little parcel, and adding the curb cuts. There is a curb cut on Edgerton today, but we're just going to use that the main entrance. We're going to elevate that site by about 4 feet. So 2 feet to get to road grade, maybe another foot or two above it to avoid the flooding, and that is for car parks. So if it does flood, we can maybe get the cars out of there. The second, the bigger site, which you have.
Can I stop you for a second? Inside that parking lot, side, you're putting Caltex over there?
We're putting Coltex system in, we're putting in permeated asphalt so that it will drain, and so there'll be a whole system in there, which is better than it's been. And frankly, apparently there's a street sewer right here that just, when the water starts coming, it just backs up and shoots right out of there. And that's what causes the flooding on Heights. That's one of the causes, even after the redevelopment of Darien Commons. And then here's the Palmer's grocery store, the lower level.
Yep.
What you're looking at here today is a wall, right, with all the vines on it and all that stuff.
Yep.
So you don't have a visual this way at all, okay? You're completely blocked. And if you look at that lower level, it's never been attractive retail because you can't see it. And the store is set back far enough from the road, so it's pretty apparent where the store is, but the retail has always been a challenge for the Palmer family. But we're not doing this necessarily for the family, but what we thought is, let's create a visual so you can actually see through. So this almost matches the Palmer's lower level parking lot. It's down a little bit, but the difference between this area here to there is at least 4 feet. And so this is still, could be flood prone because it does flood in Edgerton all the way up to about here. So the point is, raise the elevation by at least 4 feet at the corner. The sidewalk will follow the road grade. However, the building will stay perfectly level. Now, we have the same issue at Heights Crossing, because in the middle of the building it's higher and then it kind of drops off. The highest point on that street is the Palmer's grocery store. So it kind of goes down and back up and then down. So, so we're trying to, factor that in so we don't have the flooding problem. The other thing is that instead of putting up a big building right here on the corner and blocking all that, now you have another wall to look at. And you're going to be set pretty close to the street, so you create a visual block. And the point is that by doing the L, you open it up and you have a visual that allows you to at least get a peek, as well as over here, to get a peek at all the retail that's at Darien Commons, which you kind of don't even know is back there because it's all blocked by the road and all the stuff in front of the road. So that was the logic for a corner-shaped building, as opposed to looking at another big wall down Heights Road.
All right, so now the plaza, right, we talked about that, you might be close to 10,000 square feet. I don't really want to decide this unless you guys do. If their plaza is 10,001 square feet, why would we change it?
We didn't pull the application, the amendment, because we're not through ARB yet, and we're not through the commission yet. So if you say, no, we want you to change this to that, we might fall short, and so we left it the way it was. We never thought we were gonna get close to 10,000, but we certainly are pretty darn close. Might even be a little bit over, we're not quite positive yet.
I mean, I think the commission would be a hell of a lot happier if it went from 10,000 to 9 versus 10,000 to 3,500.
Okay.
Is there, for the parking, how many, do you need all of those parking spaces in the right parking lot? Because if you can eliminate 2 of them, it seems like you're well over 10,000 square feet.
We just eliminated a bunch to basically get closer to 10,000 in hopes that we wouldn't have to do the amendment. So we just did that.
But are you at the
So
regulation for parking?
So it all depends on the use, right? So in the case of a restaurant use, say, a large restaurant use on the first floor, we'd need relief from the parking regulations based on the parking we have now. If that use was, say, fully retail or fully office, we're basically right on where we need to be.
It's kind of a unique thing with respect to parking, because yes, there's about 80-some parking places there, but we have parking across the street at the train station, so after, I think it's either 3:30 or 4 o'clock, you can park there any day of the week, and then after 4 o'clock on Friday, you can park all weekend long. So, and that whole train station, I mean, it matters, but it's about 800-plus parking places.
Can you get to
So
the train station parking lot from this property?
you could use the
across the
train
street.
station after.
You gotta walk all the way around it though, right?
No,
No.
directly across the street.
No, because you can cross here and get into the train station.
Yeah, there's
You're
parking
talking about that side?
at the train station, right here.
Big lot, the other side.
Yeah.
It's a huge lot.
3 lots on
The other thing is, well, we haven't put it into the shared parking agreement with the Palmers and with Heights Crossing. You know, that's roughly 385 parking places ballpark. So, and then there's plenty of parking in that neighborhood.
Well, we'll talk about that another day. The narrative says that if you assume a restaurant, you need 134 spaces, and according to this plan, you're doing 84. So out of the chute, you're already asking for relief from 50.
Yeah, so we're down to 81 with this revised plan, 81 spaces. So we're not, you wouldn't be, I know we can reduce as much as 50%, we're not to that level. But, and again, that would be the worst case scenario if you had a 9,000 some odd square foot restaurant, which is probably pretty unlikely.
All right, let's talk about the basement space. Why do you need the amenity in the basement?
On the, how to get to the, but this picture was taken from
Yep.
the driveway across the street from one of the existing buildings, just to kind of illustrate that.
I drive by it every day.
The basement is just going to be used for a gym. It's just an amenity for the apartment building. Seems like all the apartments buildings that are being built have a small gym in them. This is, again, small site, not that big a building really. It's roughly 30 or 3,000 square feet, something of that size. So we're just going to put a small gym is what the idea was for the residents. It's not open to the public. That's not what it's about. The rooftop amenity, there's examples of it. I know Corbin has a little bit.
Yeah, let's do one at a time. Let's do one at a time, if you don't mind.
Okay.
John, the basement plan is there.
No, it's right there.
So now inside Darien Commons, is there a gym inside the building, or is it just Equinox?
I think there's a small gym on the second or third floor, but I don't recall for sure.
John,
Do you remember?
There's a gym in your building, right?
Yes,
There's a gym in Heights Crossing?
Crossing.
yes.
Plus you got, what's the name of the tenant, Evolve? That's the, that's when it's opening, that's like a yoga place, okay. So how big is the gym in the basement gonna be?
It's about 1,300 square feet.
That's huge.
It's nice size.
You only got 20 apartments.
Understood, but
You have 20 apartments, there's gonna be 3 people in there.
there could be 6, but Look, we made the space as a fitness room, as a gym, but what we did in the other project next door is we made what was gonna be the gym originally, we made into we scaled down and put a golf simulator. So the spaces might, they might fluctuate. I mean, we kind of just did these as placeholders for the time being. So potentially the gym gets a little bit smaller, potentially we use one of these spaces for a golf simulator. Potentially what's labeled as the amenity space becomes the gym, and the fitness room becomes, more of a meeting space. We've created some smaller spaces in some of the other projects where you have like a 5x5 telephone booth space. So this might get divided up, I think. I wouldn't want to
Right,
be
but what you're
committed to
asking,
the
what the
exact
applicant's
size.
asking for is a change in the zoning code for something that you may or may not use.
Well, we're gonna use the space, and we're gonna use it, we wanna be able to finish the space. I mean, I don't think the 1,300 square feet is completely unreasonable. We have the space down there, so we'd like to be able to get it big enough that we could have some free weights. You start putting 2 or 3 ellipticals or treadmills, and they take up a fair amount of space. That's the issue with it, is if you're just doing free weights, you don't need too much space. But, I mean, we would use half of that space if I just took and I put, 3 or 4 ellipticals across here, and then I use this space for some mats where people could do stretching or yoga or whatever, and then some free weights here. The 1,300 feet gets eaten up pretty quickly.
Right, but I want everyone, if I'm the landlord, I want everyone to go to Evolve and pay a gym membership so they can pay their rent.
That's a
Right.
landlord issue.
That's what I want, versus it's a free gym to go by yourself.
Do they send trainers over? We could have them bring their trainers over.
Okay, what about putting storage lockers down there?
They're here.
We have this space, yeah. That space is there for storage lockers, similar to what we did in the other project.
And so what's the percentage, the ground floor is 9,500 square feet, and your gym is 1,300 square feet?
Right.
Well, the proposed amendment would make it 50% of the lowest residential floor, so it's a bigger number.
So it's
So it gives us
7,500 square feet. The upper floor.
Well,
is
the floor
1,500.
directly above it is about the same. The floor directly above it's about 9,800 square feet.
Right.
So we're talking about 4,500 or 5,000 square feet that we want to be able to finish. Now, the storage units don't count as part of that. That's not finished space, that's just the basement.
Okay, but see, you're doing the same thing down there that you did upstairs, that you're doing in the plaza. If you only need 1,300 square feet, or 1,500 square feet, why are you asking for 4,500?
Well, wait, the 1,300, and you can chime in on this if I'm misstating anything,
Say
because I can write the text
1,500.
amendment, but the 1,300 feet is the fitness center, then we also have a media room which could be set up for people, they could be showing movies down there, things like that, and then a small amenity space that's really more like a meeting room. So if you want to have, if you're working from home, you want to have a couple people meeting with you, or you want to have a small birthday party potentially, or something like that, or just a few friends over, then those are what the other spaces are. So really,
Wait a
it's
second, you're gonna have
these 3 spaces that are the finished space, which totals about 1,300, 2,000, about 2,500 to 3,000 square feet.
Okay, so you're still asking for 3,000, you have 3,000, but you're asking for 4,500. And this is Darien, Connecticut, I've never heard of a birthday party in the basement of a apartment.
Okay, but
That's-
just
I mean,
one
come on,
example of what
Phil.
it could be used for.
You've done inside a
Maybe-
lot of buildings in your career.
Well, I know.
A birthday party
It
in
could
the
be used for,
basement?
it could be used for other adult activities like drinking scotch and smoking cigars. But, I mean, there's plenty of things we could use that room for, so.
There's no smoking allowed in residential buildings. All right, let's go to the rooftop amenity.
I don't know if we have that plan, but I mean, the rooftop amenity essentially is about 750 square feet of outdoor terrace space. There it is. So, excuse
So
me.
all the new apartment, like Station Place in Greenwich and Cascade, which Richard Greenwich design's got a beautiful rooftop amenity.
Yep.
17 Old Kings Highway's got a beautiful rooftop amenity, right? And then Phil, no, what's his name? Chip Platt wanted to do a rooftop amenity, then it disappeared because the fire marshal shut him down. So you have gas grills up there?
No,
I think he
we're
got,
not allowed to have
I think
gas
he got
grills
rid of
up
it.
there. I'm just doing some quick minutes.
They have them in Greenwich.
Wanted the whole thing.
I don't think the fire marshal in Darien allows them, but if we had to, if we were allowed them, we would put gas or electric grills up there. We're restricted on the size of this space here based on having one staircase, so we're restricted to about of usable space, about 735 square feet.
And
So we
what's
have,
the proposal you were asking for?
well, this space, outdoor space is 735 square feet.
Right, but what's Bob asking for? What's that?
Wasn't he asking for no more, less than 50%?
5% of the highest full story.
All right, so what's the biggest floor plate, Phil?
About 13,600 plus or minus.
So it's what,
So say 14
650?
14,000 feet?
650.
650 is the number.
Narrative says 726 square
Okay,
feet.
so we'd have to scale it back a little bit. We're at 730.
Well, whatever that number is, yeah.
Well, so, but is that for the enclosed space or the outdoor space? I mean, altogether, this is about 14.
No, it's the,
It's 14,000 square feet, you're asking for how many what's the percentage, 5%?
the finished floor area, the vestibule.
So the
part
finished floor area
5%.
here is about 725 square feet.
All right, so you're over.
Now, if you count, that, by the way, when we say finished floor area, that includes a stairwell, it includes an elevator shaft, and mechanical space.
Is that finished, Jeremy?
Which you'd have anyway.
Final plans.
What would you-
I'm just trying to see if we're gonna make changes and there's a conceptual design, if you actually need these changes. Because
Well, I think
for
we
the
do.
parking lot, you don't.
Well, I think we do need them for this, I mean, because otherwise.
We can't do anything
We
without
can't
it.
build anything up here.
Every apartment now has got my daughter sends me pictures of her new outdoor terrace in New York City. She's having a great time.
I understand.
Yeah, but you can't
But
do
we're
them
not
here
in New
without
York
a reg
City, and I think
change.
they have different zoning rules. So
Yeah.
Bob, how's it been done in other projects? Do you have, can you get that to the commission for the next meeting?
Downtown, yeah,
I don't need it
I could do
tonight,
that.
but for the
But
next meeting,
downtown, you had
say-
the 2.5 times rule with the
Because
plaza
it's
spaces.
17 Old Kings Highway, which you argued for because we did the thing across the street, which was the.
34.
What's that, 34?
34.
Yes, I'm sorry. Because we did a rooftop, first rooftop terrace we did was at 19 Old Kings Highway. Then we did it across
19?
the street. Then we did it across the street at 34 Old Kings Highway.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, so here's the thing, is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to be able to create some indoor space here. So the elevator, the stair, there's a little bit of space inside there.
It's a great
I
idea.
suspect if you don't have any indoor space, and the stair opens directly to the terrace, and the elevator opens directly to the terrace, then I suspect you don't need that, but we still need the height, which is a separate thing, right?
Yeah.
How tall is
Well,
34 Old
it's
Kings
incorporates
Highway?
part of it.
Right.
Bob's gonna get us the numbers.
Oh, sorry.
That should be modeled off at 34 Old Kings Highway, plus what Ivy Realty did.
34 Old Kings Highway was based on the 2.5 times rule. And the CBD, and that's not part of Corbin. In the CBD, if you set aside public plaza area, whatever the area is, you get third floor space at 2.5 times your public plaza area. So if you do a 500 square foot public plaza, you get 2.5 times that. You know, so it's 1,250 on the third level. And that's what we did with the public plaza in front of 34. And that actually covers potential expansion of that upstairs space. But now,
Wait, so let's
if
go
it's
back
10,000
to
square
the
feet, it
application.
doesn't mean you get 30,000 square feet of third floor.
Right, let's go back to the.
You know, it's a different rule, different setting, different zone.
Shall not exceed 45 feet. How tall is the building?
So
What are
building-
your floor to floor? What's
So
your
the
slab
building to
slab?
the top of that story there is just under 50 feet. So it's 49 feet 9 inches
49
from
to the
grade
top of the
to the
building.
top of here, to the top of the lobby on the third floor.
But we measure from the average grade, right?
Right, so
Yeah.
it's off of the average grade. It's off of
Yep.
the average grade, which is 75.6. It's not off of the finished floor, you can see it on here.
Does the top of the elevator shaft count? Jeff?
And the other part of it's 45, right, Phil?
Yes.
The main flat roof is 45.
Okay. And what's your slab to slab in the apartments? Phil?
So the apartments are 11'1" slab to slab,
And that gives you what?
about a 9 close to 10 foot,
10-foot
9.5 foot ceilings. The first floor, because of the residential, the commercial space is 14 feet. floor to floor. You need the height, I mean, 14 feet gives you 11 feet about by the time you put utilities and structure and everything in there.
So everyone leave it to you. Well, it's all exposed ductwork and they paint it black now.
Some people do and some people don't. We don't, yeah, it could be offices. We don't want to restrict them to that.
All right, I asked a million questions. Anybody else have questions on this one? Do you want to go first, Jamie?
I would not like to go first. Let someone else go first. I'm still finished.
Sorry, George.
The only thing I'm curious about at the moment, and it's kind of off the beaten path, but the retail on the first floor, none of that opens to the parking lot or the street? You've got to go into the building to get to those?
So the retail, the first floor right now is just a vanilla box. It opens on all sides. So you can walk from the street into it, through the building, back to the parking lot.
You're not
You
going
can
to have
enter it from
storefronts
any
with
place.
doors.
Excuse me?
You're not going to have storefronts with doors. I think that's what George is saying.
We're gonna have them, they're spaced around the building. We have some spaces that have overhead garage doors. Potentially, it's a restaurant that uses those spaces, and some spaces that just have hinge doors. But right now, the first floor is just one big open space, and it's accessible off the parking lot or off the street side, depending, obviously not at every location. On the corner it is, and then as you get further away from the corners it is again, but definitely on the parking lot side.
So you'll customize basically when you know who the
Well, we know who the tenants
user-
are. I mean, if need be, we've done it in the past. Sometimes we have to pop a window out and put a door in based on how the space gets subdivided. So it depends how, it's set up right now that it can be divided to many tenants or just one or two tenants.
Okay, thank you.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I'll leave the other stuff alone.
yeah, I mean, it's a typical vanilla box. There's not bathrooms or anything on the first floor right now.
But can it be three? It can be 3 retail tenants or 3,000 square feet apiece?
Sure.
And so there's front doors for all three, and not just the staircase in the front.
Correct.
Okay. Adam?
None right now.
Maybe or something?
I don't have questions on the development yet, but my observations are, I would not like to see a 10,000 square foot plaza get reduced, lower than that amount, and I also wouldn't want to see it peppered, sprayed across the site and not have a meaningful green space. I think the development of that area, we have 2 really big anchors that fill up that block. I think it's the center point of that block. I think you've got the train station. You have an opportunity to create a moment of green space that the entire neighborhood could enjoy. And I think I like the comments about creating vistas that see through, and that you can see through one site through and see a glimpse of the other, kind of like a house where you're seeing through a space and seeing to an outdoor space. It creates volume and a feeling for a person. I think all of those things are super important in the way I'm going to evaluate a site application. That's what I can say for now.
In other words, you agree with me on not sprinkling these little
I think as much
areas
as we
all
can
over.
to create
Yeah.
a really nice park,
cohesive.
a nice park for commuting, for people waiting for somebody to commuting, for that whole neighborhood is important.
This is a rendering of the original plan, which had the park on, this is Heights
Can you
Road.
flip that one back up again?
And that would be
And
the
I can totally appreciate we're not doing the site application.
No,
now.
no, but-
I'm just saying, those are my
Yeah,
wish lists.
but, and so now it's that, where,
Right, so
Yeah.
that rendering is more along here,
Yeah.
here. Now we pushed it over here, which really
Yeah,
shows.
and I can also appreciate, when you're on the other side of coming across, what are you looking at? Where is the green framing your eye on tree locations across that parking lot?
Mhm.
Whether it's you're walking through it or you're experiencing it, I think all of those things are super important when we're talking about this site.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great spot to sit there, wait for your spouse to come up.
have your Starbucks while you're waiting for the train.
That's what we had, but we had different suggestions.
John, just go up to the podium if you don't mind.
That's what we had, we can show you that plan too, but we changed that to accommodate ARB comments. They wanted it to loop around Edgerton as opposed to being super compact on Heights. Our idea on Heights was to block your vision so you don't see cars, so you don't see that car park. They wanted to stretch it around, so we tried to accommodate their comments.
I mean, I would love to know what the size of that plaza is. Mr. Zagraffi, you have comments, sir?
Just a process question. When does this actually get approved? You're considering it at this meeting and you would vote subsequently to do this, or?
Yes, I was thinking suspicion we're not closing the hearing tonight.
You're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to notice the other text amendment, and as we go through this, we may tweak it accordingly, like what I'm hearing, maybe tweak it down a little bit.
Because they're basically asking for three things, right? They're asking for three things. One is delete the 10,000 square feet, and by default, it goes to 3,500 square feet, right? Two, make the basement floor area 50% of the floor above it. If you look at the application relative to the parking, you say the floor above it is 9,000 and change, 9,500 and change, so 50% of 9,000 and change is going to be 4,250 square feet, right? But your basement's only 1,300 square feet or something.
4750, I think, is the math.
Just one more thing.
And
Okay.
then the third thing you're asking for is, I think, 5% on the roof, which is, I think, 725 feet or something like that, or 700 square feet, and you're already over that 5% anyway.
The basement and the roof are part of the affordable housing incentives. They really don't address this type of situation, and this is my suggestion to address that, so to get the additional floor area. But it's tied to 585.
Okay, can you
So
put
that's
585 again, Joe?
Section 585 is the list of affordable housing incentives.
Okay.
Can I ask one question? Just, I think it was mentioned.
Going back to you, you
Yeah.
passed.
I think it was mentioned, but how many parking spaces were removed when the additional landscape?
It's around the 80s. It's kind of fluctuating because
we were about 81 right now.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But we're still massaging the site plan.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you if you ask Joe Vaccaro, it's gonna be tough to find a 10,000 square foot restaurant or a 9,504 square foot restaurant in the space. So in your little parking and traffic section where you're assuming 95 required spaces, I
Well,
bet you
it's
dollars to donuts.
worst case,
your
but-
client
Yeah.
did not say there's a 10,000 square foot restaurant out there.
It's worst case, and then you apply the
It's-
joint
I
parking
get it, but
concept.
the way you presented it,
No, SLR did it that way.
this is submitted by you.
I know that, but SLR did it. I didn't pull it out of thin air.
You did it.
Right, we have hired a peer reviewer for traffic and parking. He'll be here when site plan
The
gets
site plan
discussed
gets
next
done.
week.
That's fine. Did you get your questions in?
I mean, that's all I have for now, but
Okay.
obviously we're not at the final.
This
process.
is a public hearing. I'm going to ask the public, anyone would like to speak to this application? Please come forth, raise your hand. Anybody? David Genovese is in the house. Look at you. Look at He's quiet back there.
Note, we did receive
3 separate letters were submitted this afternoon. You have them in your email. I'm going to upload them tomorrow morning.
They're uploaded.
They're uploaded already. One from Natalie Tallis, one from Alexis Sweet, and I think it was Julie Jones.
I didn't see the Alexis.
They literally coming in right before the meeting, so I think we sent them to you by email and they were uploaded.
That's so Natalie, and the other one was a PDF, was a Word document.
Yes.
Okay, so, in terms of process, Mr. Zagarpy,
Juliet King was the other one.
Juliet King. Thank you, Amy.
What we do is, they open up the hearing, present what they want to present. We're going to extend the hearing for another meeting, where they might tweak a few things, add a few things, and provide additional support for the application. Once the hearing is closed, in whatever shape or form the amendments come to, then after that, we deliberate on it.
Got it.
Then if it's if it gets a positive, and then we deliberate if it's a positive or a negative, or partial positive or negative, then we get a draft resolution, then we do draft resolution, we might negotiate that or change that a little bit too.
Okay.
So it's effectively at least 3 or 4 more meetings.
The commission has 35 days to close the public hearing and an additional 65 days to decide once the public hearing has been closed. The applicant can provide additional extension time above and beyond those timeframes, but the general rule of thumb is 35 days for the public hearing, 65 days to make a decision after
But
that.
this process is not going to take that long.
That'd be 100 days. These guys bought the thing 22 days ago. Right here.
Fast-moving group.
Exactly. You wouldn't sit around.
Jeremy?
Yes.
A question for you. In the past, when, for the applicant to put in the additional section I believe, about the tenants going into the space, for that to be renoticed, in the past, when we haven't just renoticed, the application's been redrawn. I guess that wasn't renoticed, that was the wrong abutters were
Right,
sent.
we'd have to renotice it 2 times in the local paper.
I was gonna say, we can't just continue it to next week, it's gotta,
No,
right?
Cannot.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
similarly, you have to file it with the town clerk, is it at least 15
It's got to be
days
in
prior
the
to
clerk's
hearing?
office 10 days before the hearing. We've done this before,
So
so,
you're probably looking at continuing to October 28th, which would
okay.
give us time to publish twice, time for you to file, time for us to get it to the town clerk.
Well, give me a minute or two to see what we need to tweak, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
give you a few days to figure out what the,
Yeah.
And October 28th is booked solid right now, so it may need to be pushed out further than that.
About the principal
Okay.
uses.
right, because you have a couple in the hopper as well.
It wasn't included.
Yeah, I've heard of
at all,
that,
so
yeah.
that's gotta be renoticed.
So,
But they don't need to pull it, it's just gotta be renoticed.
No, it's just renoticed.
supplemental, and
That's what I
then
thought.
in the paper 2 times. The meeting after October 28th, currently the commission is not scheduled to meet on Tuesday, the 4th, which is Election Day. The week after that is Veterans Day. Town Hall, I believe, is closed. The meeting after that is November 18th.
There
So
may need,
that's-
the commission may need to schedule a special meeting between October 28th and November 7th, 18th. We may need to figure out a date for that.
Yeah, we don't want to hold these guys up.
It has to be a
When's
public
Veterans
hearing though,
Day?
right?
When's
Has-
Veterans Day? The 11th?
Veterans Day is Tuesday, the 11th.
It's November 11th, right? Yes. That's why the last application, they got punted, the first guy on the agenda.
Right, got punted to the 18th.
Okay.
But we also cannot hold a special meeting
Has to be
on,
public.
On a
what's that?
holiday.
It has to be public.
It has to be a public hearing.
It has to be a public hearing, and it cannot be, in my mind, a date that where the public turnout would be minimized due to election day or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah, we're not having an election day,
Yep.
we're not having a
That's
town hall,
not-
it's already
Yes.
closed.
That's
on the
genuine to the
11th.
process.
It doesn't necessarily need to be a Tuesday, so we could
Yeah.
find another day of the week to do it as well.
As I
It
was
could be by
thinking.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Not public.
So,
Oh, you can't do that.
Okay,
so what we
all
can
right,
do.
so we can pick a date to extend this to?
So Bob, I would suggest at this point, a date to be continued, and you just re-notify the 5 or 6 people. That works?
Yeah, there isn't much of a list.
No, it was a very short list.
Actually, most of it's either us or Palmer or
Federal Realty.
Federal Realty, yeah.
So-
And Kevin Leary,
Yep,
right? And then
There's 6
Sanders
Yeah.
Cleaners.
yep. So certainly, it would be a little unusual, but we're able to do that, is continue it to a date. We can work out with Bob and his team, try to work with the commission on finding an alternate meeting date, first or second week in November.
Food for thought, I can appreciate that there's limited abutters, but this doesn't mean there's limited interest.
No.
Oh, no, it's gonna go
Yeah.
2 times in the paper,
Got it. Okay.
and it will be re-noticed.
Got it.
So
Okay,
certainly,
okay. Just wanna make sure. Got it.
definitely.
Actually, this part of it, we don't need to do letters, but we do them anyway.
That's true, that's true.
We
now wait a second.
could continue to October 28th and just take the action that needs to happen on the 28th, whether the hearing is continued on the 28th or whether it gets immediately continued to another night. That's,
We would make
You
the
know.
announcement public on the 28th.
that would
That's a
prevent
good
the
idea.
applicant from having to renotice the abutting neighbors, and to Amy's point,
And
you
we're already
know.
publishing for the 28th as well. That notice, Bob, needs to go to the paper next, go on,
8th,
yes, go on Thursday.
the 8th or the 18th,
So it
right?
gives you a few days to work on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that going to be enough time for your team?
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So the earliest we can do it is, legally, is the 28th.
That's
Let's
correct.
do that. If you
Okay.
can't do it on the
If you
7th,
get
can't do it on
the
the
paper.
14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So October 28th, at be 7 PM in this room, room 206 at Darien Town Hall. Continuing to October 28th.
So it is October 28th.
And then if it doesn't get to the town clerk for whatever reason, you can just strike it from that. And
Yep.
we can set a
We-
different date.
Bob will make sure.
We've
it's-
done this.
Yeah, I don't want to punt it to November 18th.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
definitely
too
a
much
long.
from now. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And you're gonna get, Bob, you're gonna get like square footages and whatnot.
For, yeah, I'll get whatever square footages we,
Remember, ARB's advisor.
yes. Yes, we're well aware.
Okay. That's the end of the public hearing. Now we're going to go into the general meeting. First time on the agenda for the general meeting, amendment of business site plan number 302, special permit application number 302, Baywater Corbin Partners, Boston Post Road, Corbin Drive, request to amend previously approved plan. Wow, there's a lot of previously approved plans. Which one? All right. In our packets, we have a nice Corbin District PowerPoint, put together by Kate. I would bet you again.
By David.
That's why I said that. I think did Lily help this time? Actually, yeah, Lily's a school teacher, right? And he's a college in the building. You want to give us any precursor on this further?
Sure, I can. So David Genovese approached us 3 or 4 weeks ago relative to some additional amendments to the Commission's business site plan number 302, special permit application 302 for Corbin, Baywater Corbin Partners. David is going to be presenting some changes for the Commission tonight to consider relative to expansion of restaurant space within the Corbin District, including expansion of Hinoki Restaurant, which is currently 3,330 square feet. They plan on expanding that square footage by roughly 690 square feet into the Get Joy space in Building C. They're looking to expand Millie's Restaurant by 330 square feet into a portion of Darien Toy Box space in Building B. They're looking to add 8 Rivian Level 3 chargers to the site. And they're also going to present some landscape changes and a 6-space reduction in parking on Penny Lane. So David Genovese is here to present the details.
Thank you so much. Can you see okay? I slid it a little bit out. So I'll try to be brief. One of the benefits of working on a project for 20 years is that you have a lot of time to think about how to make it better. And one of the good things, I think, about where we are right now is that the town's in the midst of the town plan of conservation and development. So we've been tracking the meetings and kind of listening to the feedback and what people are saying about what they like and don't like about some of the development that's happened in town over the last couple of years. And a few of the changes here, a couple of the changes here are really driven by that. So I'll get to it, and then we'll come to the kind of how it relates to the POCD. As Fred commented or explained, we had originally, for what we call Building C, it's the building that sits opposite Webster Bank, we had originally leased the front portion of that space, which is about 3,500 feet, to Roan, a men's and women's now activewear brand, founded by a New Canaan-born guy who lives in Darien, Nate Checketts, and a small space of about 690 square feet to another Darien resident, Tom Eriks, who has a pet products company called Get Joy, and the last space to Hinoki Restaurant, whom we pursued for a long time because everybody in Darien told us we need a sushi restaurant. So we got Hinoki, but again, this has taken so long. Tom Eriks decided to change the business strategy. He's not going to sell in retail stores anymore. He did have a pop-up with us for a while. Hinoki got into their planning. Tom wanted to get out of his lease, And Hinoki realized that to do what they want to do, they needed a bit more space. So what we're requesting is the ability to increase the Hinoki space by the amount of the GetJoy space, which we think is pretty de minimis.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Sure.
We don't really get into the weeds on.
It's a change of use.
Yeah, we went, the commission gave David a maximum amount of restaurant space, retail space, office space. He's still within those parameters, those limits,
Okay.
but it does affect parking a little bit. So we said, bring all the changes you have. They're not major changes, but they're all a few hundred square feet here and there in a couple hundred thousand square foot.
Correct.
He's
And
got 1,000 parking spaces, doesn't he?
900 in total.
Oh, sorry.
But to add to that, you know, this commission, many of you on this commission were there when we went and proposed to downsize what was originally going to be the LL Bean space.
Right.
So we reduced that space because we didn't feel confident we could get the right kind of retailer for the gateway to the project in that highly visible place once we lost LL Bean. And Crate and Barrel we had talked to when we lost them. And in retrospect, I think it was a good thing. We downsized it. We made a smaller space. We found a great tenant for that space, which we'll announce soon. And then we actually took that space and made more parking. So we net reduced the retail, then added parking spaces to that area. And in candor, this isn't out yet, but there's another area of the project that we had rented to a restaurant that I think we're going to end up taking back and doing something different with. So we'll probably end up reducing the restaurant space further. And I guess I would just ask, if that happens, do we have to come back again? Or if we keep if we go down, it should be fine. Great.
Was that the restaurant that was going to be on
Corbin
Drive?
Yeah.
It was
It's an L-shaped space, and the group that we had originally signed a lease with, Needs Bakery, was going to do a different concept, and then they decided they wanted to open a Needs, but we had signed a lease with Tate, and Flower Water Salt is here, and now Raphael's is coming, and we just didn't want to overdo it. We're trying to, even though they're not all our customers, we're trying to kind of respect people's lanes and try to make sure we create diversity and not too much competition in the same space.
Do we need commission members? This is a general meeting item, so we're one at a time. Do we need more discussion on fluctuation of tenants?
No, we do not.
You know, okay, so
You
the
good on
part
that?
about Millie's and Toy Box.
Okay, it's kind of the same program with Millie's. They got into planning, they realized they needed some more space. Jeremy and I have been meeting over the last couple of days, talking to Millie's. Millie's actually came to us last week with a request to put their beer storage in the garage and reduce the parking garage by one space. Jeremy and I discussed it. He didn't think it was a good idea. I kind of agreed. So we're not going to do that. It's bad precedent. You know, once we do it with one, we'll start hearing from others to do the same. And I don't disagree with Jeremy on this.
They did that over at what's it called, the Village,
Canal Street?
Yeah, well, their beer is in the parking garage. It looks
Yeah.
stupid.
Well, this would have been directly underneath the store, and they would have the taps running up into the thing, but it's just, I think it's just bad precedent.
Electric chargers, that's your next item, right?
Yeah, we had come to you in that last meeting where we requested changes and asked for 6 level 3 charging. This gets to the town plan. So if you look at, in particular, the September meeting notes from the Town Plan of Conservation and Development, you know, a couple of the things that the Green Team and others are kind of asking for is more EV charging in town, more landscape areas, more plaza spaces. I get the feeling you're kind of hearing that too. And so, you know, here, Mary Goldberg of Rivian is here with me. I should also say Kate Perez, who's really the quarterback of this project, like making it happen. I get to come here and talk to you guys, but Kate's really the one you should thank.
You can sit down and she can come up with it.
Well, Kate stays in the best lane. She doesn't have to deal with all these crazy tenants until I make a mess, and then she has to help me fix it. But no, Rivian and we have been working for a while and we originally proposed 6 level 3 charging stations. Mary's come in from Brooklyn to be with you if you have any questions. They see
Rivian?
Enormous demand. She works with Rivian.
Really?
We were hoping she was going to take a Rivian to the meeting and that there could be test drives after, but that didn't happen. They were out of it. There's too much demand for Rivians.
Yeah.
But their studies have concluded that there's enormous unmet demand. There's no level 3 charging in the town of Darien proper. The closest is on the highway. So this will be 8 spaces. They look like this, so they're pretty discreet.
That's a total of 10, right?
Yeah, but that's just what it looks like.
This
That's
is an
very
existing site.
That's an existing site. And locationally, what we have agreed to do. Don't want to give you a preview of my other
Out of
stuff.
curiosity, did you check with your tenants yet? Because all the fancy Greenwich hedge funds have 87 million charges in the basement of the building.
You know, the reality of it is, owning other office buildings in Fairfield County, we got a lot of requests from people for EV charging. This is really for the public. There's we have level 2 charging in the basement, in the garage. We have level 2 charging in the first phase.
Okay.
So this isn't really for residents or office tenants. This is for passersby. And we're hoping they'll stop, charge, and go buy something or have a meal.
Okay.
But it's in this location of the site. So the office building is here. This is about an 85 space parking lot, surface parking spot. There's 8 there proposed, up from 6. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mary, but it's not going to be monitored. We're kind of relying on the good faith of people to not take them if they're not charging. But when Christmas comes and the lots are dense and people want surface parking, we're not going to tow a car because it's parked in a.
Yeah, we get cameras over there.
Yeah.
They won't be restricted to EV charging, though. Oh.
Just please state your name and your affiliation for the.
Hi, Mary Goldberg with Rivian. They won't be exclusive to EV charging. We want a signage that says EV charging only. It'll just say EV charging. We're not going to police it unless someone's been posted up there for several days.
A technical question. Can my Prius get charged there, and can my daughter's Tesla get charged there?
Yeah, so they are open to all EVs right now. They are CCS ports, so your Prius either has a CCS or a J 1772. So yes, it's universal. If you think about it, like Tesla is Microsoft and Tesla is Apple and everyone else is Microsoft with the types of plugs that they use.
Great.
Everyone is switching over to the Tesla plugs. It's a simple remove the cable, swap it out for the Tesla plug. Come probably late 26, 27, when all vehicles, including ours, start being manufactured with the North American Charging Standard, the Tesla plug.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't go far.
All right.
Everyone okay with the EV chargers?
I'm just curious, is there a charge for that?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. You'll pay for that. That'll run through the Rivian app, and you'll pay for it, just as you do it like ChargePoint or Tesla level 3 charging. Our level 1 or level 2 charging stations, there's also a charge for that. But people are paying for their electricity if they're doing it at home too. So.
Out of curiosity, what's the charging stations on the Goodwise?
There's a broken charge point.
Are they level 1?
I don't think it's worked. That's a level 2, I think. That's a level 3? Maybe level 3?
Tesla chargers at Goodwise or Old Kings Market in October.
Yeah. They have all the Earth-step pedal stuff has Teslas. Okay. Everyone's good with charging. Okay.
This is
you 2 for 2.
Thank you so much. This is a more significant conversation. So I don't think that any of you but Chairman Mulvaney was on the commission when we presented the original plan, the original Robert Stern plan. George might have been there. No? The original
occupied roof.
No, I'm not going to talk about occupied roofs, especially tonight. The original plan called for a municipal-looking building with a big town green, sort of where Bank of America was in that area. And what has, again, having had a lot of time and going to Palmer's Market, Kate lives in town too, so she's heard this. People see an image and they never forget it. Mm-hmm. So the idea of the town green has been kind of riveted in people's minds. And one of the things that we realized in kind of looking at this further.
This does speak to how much the importance of it to people.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So it's been bugging me, to be candid, because this revised project, not unlike the Stern project without that green, aside from where that green was, we put underground parking below the plaza. And so there's only 2.5 feet. Some of you have walked the site, so you've seen this. There's only 2.5 feet of soil, basically, from the top of that waterproof deck. There's a waterproof deck over that plaza, underground parking garage. And then 2 feet of soil that gets you to the grade, so you'll walk right from the plaza into the stores without a step. Mm-hmm. We were nervous, very nervous, about how we were going to get good-sized trees in there. The original idea, the original landscaping plan that was approved by this commission had tree boxes, like tree planters. But you can only get a certain size tree in a planter that is of that size. So I've gone kind of deep on how much soil does it take to plant a bigger tree. And what do you have to do? And what we've concluded is that we can put bigger trees in, but we have to create larger tree beds. It's not about the depth of the soil per se, it's about the volume of the soil. I did not know that. And sadly, our architect, Bruce Beinfield, passed away a few weeks ago, and he'd been working on this with me literally till the week before he passed away. We were nervous, we were trying. I probably pulled the trigger on changing this a little too late, but I was trying to work this with Bruce because I thought he could finish it with me, but he couldn't. And so we brought in a new design firm that specializes in public realm design. They do this around the country. A lot of their projects are more urban in nature. To be candid, you can look them up. They're called Of Place, ofplace.com. They're really talented. They were founded by a woman who was the original head of development for Federal, when Federal was doing some of their great work. And they've helped us kind of think it through, and they've helped us come up with some ideas to really, green up the place, which we think is appropriate. And honestly, I think that if we don't, we're going to disappoint people, and I don't want to do that after all this work. So, as you may also recall, in that last modification meeting, you gave us permission to close the street that runs through the middle of the project in the warm months so we could have a very significant pedestrian-only area. That space, that street, is one way from the driveway into the project over to Corbin Drive. And it had 28 spaces. We would have 0 spaces in the summer months. What we've come up with is a plan where we would reduce the number of spaces on that street by 6. So we'd go from 28 to 22 spaces. But what this allows us to do is really green it up in a way that I think the public will be, I hope, very ecstatic. And I'm going to show you a couple of images that we haven't shared with anyone yet. And so here you go. This is an aerial view. What we've also figured out is that we could actually plant a lawn on the plaza. And we spent a lot of time going back and forth over, should it be real grass, should it be synthetic turf? There are a lot of mixed-use places around the country that use synthetic turf, and we're going to try to go with real grass just because, while we'll have to probably replace it every year, so it's an operating expense for us, we just think there's nothing like real grass. I mean, there's some pretty good synthetics, but not much.
That's what Giant Stadium is. That's what
You could have people blowing out knees like me.
We don't want that. So this is an aerial view showing you the larger trees, and I'll show you a couple of other images that help, but you can kind of see how this all relates. This is Hinoki right here, that's the Get Joy space. This is Millie's, this is Corsica, that's their outdoor seating, and that's Tate Bakery. So you've got 4 cool, outdoor restaurants, coffee shops, all on this square, and we wanted to add more greenery and add a lawn.
Where's the office building?
Here. Yeah, this is looking toward the post road. That's a view of the green. And you can see this, our new, I'll call him a landscape architect, but he's really a designer. Aaron calls this the mama tree. That's sort of the feature tree, which would be a bigger tree that we would be able to plant on that plaza. This is a view of it from Corsica, kind of in front of Corsica. You can see the Millie's outdoor dining. You can see this space right here was that original toy box space, which will become part of Millie's. That's the mama tree.
Kate, where are you getting these trees? You got to come up to the podium and say your name.
TBD.
This is Kate from Maywater Properties. We don't know where we're getting the trees from yet. We have to work through the species to figure out what is going to be like the right tree for the big mama tree, and what does it weigh, and how do we support it with the steel below. But we're working on all of that.
So far, everybody
right
feels
now.
okay with it.
Everybody feels pretty good about it, and we're reworking, we can rework drainage to work with this. But the prior plan had a lot of hardscape and didn't have trees in the public space, and Of Place is, we have a landscape architect, Halverson, that Ty and Bond is under the umbrella of Ty and Bond. They will continue on the project, but Of Place really consults on vibrant community town space making. So they kind of advise on here's 100 different spaces that we know or have worked on that are successful. So they're they came in and said like, you know, to David's point, he was missing the green, and they're like, we think you're missing some green. So that's how we've gotten here. Yeah.
I mean, the greatest thing about where we are now in the construction is, you know, some of you've seen it, like you can feel kind of what the space, the volume of the space, and it feels good. But when we started looking at that against our plan, we're like, it's not green enough. It's going to feel too urban, and we have to fix that. So this is kind of...
This is all public plaza space.
All public plaza space.
So I can go there and hang out.
Well, not under the canopy, not under the pergola, right? But
that big piece of green grass.
Yeah, and I mean, to that point, I have to do some unwinding with Millie's, to be candid with you, because this is the end of the pergola that we want them to have. They want to extend this pergola further here, and this cool area right here, we're proposing to cut back their outdoor dining area and make that more public plaza. You gave us approval to make it private dining or, you know, restaurant controlled dining area, but we feel like looking at this, we pushed it too far, and we got to go push it back. Okay. That was kind of a fun little feature, though. The Millie's guys are thinking about putting a little like ice cream cart out there.
Good, so now we're talking about the eight.
That's the 8 spaces, and let me just show you just a couple more images. You can get a sense of like directionally where we'd like to go. This is the walkway into the project from the post road. That would be Roan on your right and Millie's on your left, and that's all public plaza. But for this area that you all approved as dining area for Millie's, and this is an indoor-outdoor bar.
So behind me is Webster Bank.
Correct.
Got it.
And then this is one of my favorite parts of what they've come up with, and this is kind of that area between the office building and the building along Corbin Drive. And they helped us come up with an idea to create more, you know, more trees, more landscaping, and really green it up. They're calling that the secret garden, which I kind of like. This shows you the original parking count, and this shows you why we're asking to reduce it by 6.
Where's Corbin Drive and where?
Corbin Drive's on the right by Kate.
Okay.
And this is Penny Lane.
Yep, and then the plaza in the middle. No, the street, the fake street in the middle that goes to Webster Bank is right behind us.
Yeah, and this doesn't go to the Webster Bank. This is the walkway that goes to Webster Bank.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So I am torturing everyone on my team because I'm trying to make it perfect, and you know, at some point you got to stop. But I just feel like it needed more. And when I went back and read the Plan of Conservation Development, all the dialogue around that, I'm like, you know, this is kind of what the people are saying too. So I think we should try to accommodate it if we can.
And you're committed to those material choices where there's brick and there's stuff.
We'd like it. We're still refining it.
Yeah, but the breaking up of that.
Yeah, I mean, actually, this kind of shows you, you know, brick from here to Corbin, brick from here to Market Street. Bruce Beinfield's original idea, to be candid, was to do the entire thing in red brick. And that's kind of the direction he wanted to go, but you know, we've been pondering it, and we think it's just too much brick.
I kind of like visually how it
Breaking it up.
that space. Yeah.
That was
trees and everything else.
That was 100% of place contribution.
Yeah, no, I think that's good.
You'll like these people if you meet them. They're great.
Yeah.
So now, Kate, you worked at First City, right?
No,
who worked at First City?
I lent them money when I was a banker a long time ago.
The reason why
My first construction loan.
They're mauling Yonkers.
Yeah.
It's got the same exact thing.
Do not offend us by referring to a mall in Yonkers.
Right, but they took out nobody parks in there.
It's not always as bad. Huh?
But nobody parks in those spaces on their center road.
Right.
So you're taking away 6 spaces nobody's going to use anyway.
Well, listen, in the summer, we believe it's closed anyway. So we looked at it and said, you know, we've created so much. I mean, 6 isn't going to make the difference between this working or not. But if people show up and it's not very green, they're going to be upset. So,
does anybody want a question on the parking space?
Spaces, no, but if I may just for public consumption, I wonder if you can compare and contrast what this would be without that lawn and the tree.
What it would look like?
Yeah. Just so the public can see what the improvement is.
Kate, maybe you can help me with this because I might mess this up. But if I go to, am I on the public
What
Wi-Fi?
it would have looked like.
Hang on, you might see, if my wife texts me something mean because I'm late home, just, you know, don't get mad at me.
Not the ground. Right?
Let's see, share.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Corbin.
So when did
What do you think?
this green grass plaza's always been there?
What's that?
The big green grass plaza's always been there.
No, it was not green grass, it was brick. Let me see if I can, what do you think, Kate?
Go all the way down.
Planning and resume, CD, 100% CD phase 2?
That will show it. It won't be super refined, but that should show it.
Uh-oh.
I say it's on the cloud, so.
Oh, wait, it's not.
It'll take a minute.
It might take like an hour, hold on.
Okay, no, don't worry about it.
The
We've got
original
hours,
plan
right?
had
Yeah, you gave
pavers.
me
It was
a-
actually like concrete pavers in various colors and sort of different like sizes and patterns to define what we call the Woonerf, like the main street.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Look that word up.
I think it's a
Dutch term.
Dutch term, yes. Architects love it. But then there was the plaza above, and there were sort of some granite accents and a lot of brick pavers, but it was really open. And the idea was like, it's a blank slate for events, for a farmer's market, for, things that made an open space really easy, like programming that was easier in a very open space. But of Place's perspective was kind of like, to make smaller areas that have an experience that work on a day-to-day too, not just for an event or, so the original plan was relatively open, and we had some kind of cool like core 10 planters, like David said, raised, like significantly raised to get soil volume, but they were ornamental trees like we have on the post road that are shorter stature. They don't have a huge growth rate because their soil capacity, volume is pretty small.
That's right,
So it was very like
I'm
wide
getting
open with pavers and some of those more ornamental trees and planters. But we can get you like the before.
No, I
picture,
think
yeah.
that's helpful. Less for me than.
Because that's what the toy box wanted to be.
Wrong phase, hold on. I was like there, I was on the verge of greatness. Kate calls what I call phase 1, phase 2, so we're always kind of messed up.
Do you need the 22 spaces on Penny Lane at all?
I think at Christmas we'll want them in the holidays.
You think so?
We'll want them, yeah. And look, the way we presented that to you was that this was our option to take it away. So I think we're all in this together with parking. Parking was also a key thing in the plan of conservation and development. So I think we just have to kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. We'd love to not have it. I think this could be very cool.
I wouldn't be against having no parking on Penny Lane, period.
Well, we can always
Yeah,
change it later.
just keep in mind, that was like, part of that connection over and across Corbin Drive to the municipal lot, like at night, on the weekends, like at night, I think it'll be,
That's a big number, 22.
yeah, I'm kind of, okay, what do you think about phase 3, 4 landscape redesign?
Yeah, that's it.
Progress,
Yeah, all off of pro car these days. This 75% seems
That'll be enough?
have something.
Sorry,
We're back
I
in
didn't mean to do
2023.
we've been working on this a very long time. Here we go. Please work. I think it's a Wi-Fi problem. Oh wait, it's downloading. It downloaded.
Charging station.
It downloaded, it worked.
You're just gonna swipe those 6
Here we go.
spaces you just gave away. We've got it.
Lots of comments by Kate. I think it's best like that, Kate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were kind of playing around with like groupings of seeding and planting. This actually isn't even the latest iteration, and then a few planters set back off of the Woonerf and
And no trees here.
and no trees here. And the scheme that you just looked at pulled some of these trees out to this parking lane.
Let me take a look here.
And then added like the internal trees to the plaza.
Yeah, that's great. That's
That
what I had
help?
in mind, was so the public can see the difference.
Yeah, I think it's a material difference.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge difference.
Right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yep.
very good. The only other thing, I heard you refer to the toy box a couple of times. It's just shrinking, it's not going away.
Not going away. Oh, no, he is hell-bent to get over
I
there.
gather he's been
No,
very
he's the
patient.
best. He's foundational.
Good.
He's foundational. We have his plans done, permits ready to be filed, so that one's good.
He wanted skateboards on that file.
Yeah, I know. He's got area to skateboard around. He'll be wheeling around on some kind of device, I'm sure.
Okay, so you just got your six, everyone's good with six parking spaces.
Yeah.
You're all right, Mr. Scott, you okay? You can recommend, you just can't.
I'm just recommending.
You recommend it. All right, then that was my last page.
That's it?
You just show these two to the general public, this and that.
Yep. Oh, the
You already
secret.
did it, right? You already
I
did
think
it.
we went through everyone. We gotta make sure we get that date right. This happened to me on 10/20. We put 2007 on the building and we didn't finish it until 2008. Every time I drive by, it bugs me.
Okay, anything else, sir?
That is it.
You all right?
I'm all good.
You good?
I'm good.
This is a general meeting item, so we don't really ask the public to comment. Does anyone in the public want to speak about this? We're all good?
So
Thank
just
you.
to clarify, this is,
You might want to come up.
sorry, sure. I'm here for
State your name.
another matter as a neighbor, but it's very interesting to see what's
Just
going
state your
on.
name for the record.
Yes, it's Jane Renaud. I'm a Darien resident. So I just wanted to clarify that this is the phase where it's on the south side of the post road, going west.
In construction right now.
In construction right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and
Oh.
it's hard to visualize all the green space, but it looks like a nice,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
We're
nice.
trying.
He
Yeah,
used to
looks
not have
beautiful.
gray hair when he started.
Sorry?
He used to not have gray hair when he started. All right, so we're good? Everyone's good? Can we just take a straw vote on this? We'll just do it in all together, one shot. Can I get a motion to approve the requested changes to the site plan as submitted? Amy makes a motion for a second. Adam is second in favor. There you go. Kate, you got what you want.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for your collaboration. Feedback.
You're welcome. Okay, next item on the agenda, we're going to hit turbo now. Amendment special permit application number 47D is David, Darien Community Association, the DCA, at 274 Middlesex Road, request for 5 front lawn events in each 2016, 2026, and 2027. I can tell you from past experience, the reason why they want this in advance is because people start to book weddings. And if you're gonna have a wedding there in 2027, you better talk to them now. Is Eric doing it here? No? Okay. No? Okay. You want to explain this at all? My only question is, I went by the DCA last weekend, and there was a big tent out front. And I, they don't have to, I don't have to know about it, but was probably a big party the night before or something like that? The question is there any neighbor feedback at any of the events I've ever had?
I've not received any neighbor feedback, Fred, I don't think you have either, on their various events. They are very sensitive to neighbor concerns, whether it's noise, lights. There's some very strict rules in terms of party shutdown, music, and the DCA.
How late are they allowed to operate?
The wedding's at least till 10.
I was going to say 10, and then the music shuts off and everyone comes home and left. That's my recollection.
Yeah, I think
And it's been the same for years, right?
Years, right. And there's a limit on the number of events, as they said here, 5 front lawn events in 2026 they're requesting, and 5 in 2027. And you can see Fred has been kind enough to include in your packet the 2023 request, which limits some of the restrictions they put on, are self-imposed. Police officer on site, for example.
Maybe built did all that stuff in.
Right, and then the 2021 request, this really was and it came out of COVID a little bit in 2021, 2022, get people outside more. So we have not had any problems or issues that I'm aware of, that I can recall.
Okay, you would know,
Very
it's been
strict
going on for
limit.
years.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the, as,
Can I enter 1 second?
yeah,
Do you know if the first selectman's office ever had any phone calls on this?
No.
Okay, fantastic. We're good.
yeah, I mean, as Jeremy mentioned, it kind of originated as a COVID accommodation in 2021 with with the front lawn events being done at that time, and then they came back to us. This will be the third request that they're making for, continued front lawn event. So the question is, you want them to continue to come back to the commission on a yearly or to just amend the special permit and allow this as a use moving forward?
No, we'll just keep going where it's going. We're not amending anything.
Right.
We're not amending any special permits.
No, they're saying in lieu of coming back annually for
They're not
approvals
even,
for 2 years.
Piece of cake. Yeah, it's a piece of cake.
Yep.
Check it.
If they wanted to, they could come back and they could file an application to amend it.
Okay, we're good?
Yes, good. Motion.
We're good? Motion to approve as requested. Adam makes a motion, looking for a second. Jamie makes a second, all in favor?
Got it.
I got the 5 weddings for the next 2 years.
2 years.
Okay? They can always come back. This is an example of how it goes. Okay?
Folks in the audience, I'm not sure which item they're here for.
Okay, yeah. Are you here for a specific reason?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're here for a special permit for a pickleball court.
I had a feeling
Neighbors.
we're not even on your schedule.
We have there are 2 things on the schedule, and
I want to come and show it to them.
What's
The
that?
date.
Is
I
this
should,
for-
it was my fault. I knew there was something wrong 2 hours ago. I felt it, you know what I mean? You can feel these things. It's like, I'm sorry, I should have said something. I knew we were on the schedule for some reason. I just felt it, you know?
Yeah, this got, what happened was the folks who,
You enjoyed your evening?
the applicant,
no, really. I mean,
Yeah, don't answer.
we wouldn't
Go ahead,
have
sir.
been here without this.
Yeah, please.
the engineer who worked on the plans, I think he did not correctly notify the neighbors. So we've had to postpone his hearing. I think he's on for October 14th. So you might be getting a new notice.
Why didn't they notice that this was postponed?
I don't know.
Well, I think you should note that in the record, because it's really.
This is
special.
music. This is real. This is like.
Yeah, I was
You
wondering why
know, a
you.
4,700 square foot.
Was it in the paper?
What's that?
Was that?
I believe it was in the paper. Again, when people don't get the notice right, and, Fred's job is to read through and say, oh, you missed something, you didn't get it right.
Not notifying in the same method that they notified us for the
They,
first
they,
one?
they notify you of a meeting, they don't notify of a cancellation.
Yeah. So, but it will be October 14th. I would expect that you will be getting a subsequent letter.
Can we get some idea of your, the timing?
Where you gonna be
Where
on
it
the
is going to be on the
agenda?
agenda?
Yes,
It really will come out the Thursday before.
okay.
So if the 14th is a Tuesday, it's going to come out on the 8th and about 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And we'll
Post
see
it to the
that on the
website.
website?
On the town website, yes.
See
And
if
do
we
you
can
really, do you adhere to that schedule?
Yeah, let's see if we can make that first.
We will try
That
to
would be
make that first.
wonderful. And
The
so
the
we'll-
agenda will be posted on the website. Feel free to give us a call in the office
Okay.
ahead of time, and we'll fill you in
That Thursday before.
on the details.
Okay.
Thursday
14th.
Tuesday the 14th is the meeting, 7 PM. It'll be in this room. We'll try to make it first on the agenda.
Okay, appreciate it. We'll call you the day
yeah.
of just to make sure that.
Yes,
The
that's a great
admin,
idea.
Just to confirm,
the admin's
yeah.
name is Greer, she's a rock star.
Sorry?
So-
The admin's name is Greer,
Okay.
she's a rock star. You call her, she'll get you
Okay,
answers.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're here for something else?
I'm
Which
here
item
for
are
the
you here
same
for?
thing,
For
we're here for the
23.
same thing,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And not,
can I just leave a letter?
That would be great,
that
thank
is a
you.
great idea. All right, have a good evening.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And just,
During the evening.
and ma'am,
The first one, yeah.
just for the record, submitting a letter, an email to us is the exact same weight as speaking in a meeting. So if you don't want to even come back,
No, they want-
put it in a letter and
I
we.
got the sense from your first agenda item that there were, excuse me, 3 or 4 people that had sent in emails, and I was like, why didn't we do that? So,
Yeah, so we consider those as if you're speaking here.
okay, all right, thanks for.
If you don't want
I
to
mean,
sit
we
through
do
another
have-
meeting.
I mean, there's a lot of questions still to ask.
Yeah,
about this
yeah, there
certain
might be some more
application.
information.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. That's a we did that, all right, that's the end of that. Next item, deliberation possible decision on the following. I'm going to read the first item, coastal site plan review number 60-B flood damage prevention application number 48-B landfilling and regrading application number 591, also known as PL 25-67, Logan and Ann Nichols at 6 Cross Road. Proposal to construct a new porch addition to the east side of the residence, expand and reconfigure the existing driveway and walkways, construction of a new pool, spa, patio, pergola, outdoor kitchen area, and form related site development activities within regulated areas, including the installation of stormwater management and regrading of the property. Yeah.
Off you go.
This is above my pay grade.
Let the record reflect that First Selectman Zagrodsky has spent enough time with us this evening.
Thank you.
All right, in our packets, we have a draft resolution for 60 Cross Roads. It's a little bit complicated, but it makes some sense. There's a few things going on here. Just refresh me again on this one, Fred.
Sure, you may recall this is went to EPC. EPC approved it on September 3rd. They had a number of conditions about moving the fence. This is an application which includes house additions and alterations, a new pool in the backyard, outdoor kitchen, a number of different aspects to it. And the conditions are pretty straightforward relative to, they didn't ask for any rock crushing. You may recall Craig Flaherty appeared on behalf of the neighbors with concern about that separate parking area. Joe Canis reviewed it, peer reviewed it, exactly. And so everything checked out. They'll need separate permits for the house alterations and the pool. And there's a bunch of restrictions about an elevation certificate because some of the work is in the flood zone. Other than that, nothing complex. They'll have to tweak the plans a little bit to match the EPC approval.
Okay, questions, comments, typos, scrivener's errors on this one? Anybody catch anything that jumped off the page? All right, with that said or not said, I would entertain a motion to approve as submitted or as drafted. Adam makes a motion. I think George made a second.
Sure.
Yep, all in favor?
5-0, thank you.
5-0.
As written.
Fantastic. Next item on the agenda, coastal site plan review number 389, flood prevention application number 456, also known as PL 25-85. Emmanuel and Jamie Hammond at 17 Searles Road propose to construct a new driveway and parking court and relocate the existing garage entrance from the east face of the building to the south and perform related site development activities within regulated areas. In our packets or in our applications.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, this is Amy, you said, hey, when I was a broker, I told them to.
Yeah.
Some minor facade changes.
And they did it
swap
absolutely
it.
everything.
Move
we needed-
garage doors.
that we needed to get done to
Better
that house,
entry
and
court.
that driveway, yep.
It's on that flooding side of Daryl's.
Yeah, yeah, that's all good. I remember that one,
I guess
liking that
that's it.
change, yep.
East,
Was that-
south side of
was that-
Daryl's?
Yeah, fix up that intersection near Indian Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You
That
weren't
comes
at
out.
this meeting, Steve.
Yeah, I wasn't at this one, and I didn't watch it on TV, but anyway. You said 4 votes, right?
Yep, we're still good.
Yeah.
Good. Any questions, comments, typos on this one? Scrivener's errors on this one? With that said or not said, entertain a motion to approve as submitted. Jamie makes a motion. I bet you Amy makes a second. All in favor?
4-0,
4 to 0
one
to
abstention.
1 abstention. Good. That was 6, that was 7. The next one is coastal site plan review number 363B as a boy, flood storm prevention application number 169B as a boy, landfilling and regrading application number 55B as a boy, also known as PL 25-108, Mackenzie and Catherine Folk at 32 Plymouth Road. Proposed to construct a pool, spa, terraced hardscape area, retaining walls, and a detached studio structure at the really existing residence, perform related site development activities within regulated areas, including installation of stormwater management and regrading of the property. In our packets, we have a draft resolution on this one. I don't think I was at this one either. No, I wasn't. Questions, comments, typos, scrivener's errors on this one?
I only had one question.
This is down in the bay.
Is that we with this application, they explicitly did not want to ADU
That's correct.
that, but we didn't
Yeah.
mention it in here at all. Like, I don't know that we have to.
It says it here in 16.
Yeah, I thought we did.
It says on 16, the studio structure is not an accessory dwelling unit.
16,
Page 3.
that
I'm
is-
sorry, 10.
That's FEMA. I don't see anything about it.
Last sentence.
The studio structure.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I
is
just
not
missed
an
it.
accessory, yeah.
Okay,
It's
that's
kind of a
all.
weird place to put that
Yeah,
sentence.
that's why I totally missed that last sentence. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because it's the perfect ADU. All they have to do is change it slightly and fill out the
We
one-page
we
questionnaire.
can certainly, if you want, move that sentence to.
No,
somewhere-
it's fine. As long as it's just kind of a weird spot. But yeah, all right, other than that, never mind, missed that. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like the perfect ADU to not do.
But if they came back at a later date, they can do it as a
Yeah,
right.
they'll swap it as a
Yeah.
break. 'cause
And
it's
we
It
over
would be
know-
there.
we
an administrative approval.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because they're just over 1 acre.
Okay, anything else on this one? Typos, errors, previous errors on this one? Good. Looking for a motion to approve as submitted. Any more second makes a motion?
Go this way.
Looking for a second. Jamie makes a second, all in favor?
4-0.
4-0, and one abstention. Thank you, sir. All right, last one up for bid is, landfilling and grading application number 592, also known as PL 25-112, 59 Norotan LLC at 59 Norotan Avenue. Proposal to raise the existing residence and construct a new single-family dwelling with a new driveway and form related site development activities, including the regrading of the property and the installation of stormwater management. In our packets, we have a draft resolution. There was a couple things that I didn't see that I thought was supposed to be in here. Was there a landscaping plan as part of the application? Because they submitted it after the fact, because it was supposed to put trees at the bottom of the hill, and do like a tiny berm type thing. Remember they accommodated the neighbors by putting Christmas trees at the bottom of the hill, so it's after the sheet flow.
I don't think there was a specific landscape plan submitted.
You could certainly make that, the last paragraph of A, a condition that the plan shall be, as described by the applicant at the public hearing, 4 to 6 or 8 evergreens will be planted.
Because I asked them
Saturday
down, how many inches out center were they?
Yeah,
And
they didn't have a plan yet.
They didn't know how many inches, how many feet on center they were gonna be, but they stated
Right, they did represent, very clearly in the hearing, that they would be planting at the bottom of the hill. A planting plan had not yet been developed. So I guess the
It
question
was
for
gonna
the
be mulched,
commission.
and be mulched and not straight grass, which didn't flow at the lake shore.
Yeah.
I also recall, and maybe I haven't found it, is that, and maybe it's in prior to the issuance of certificate of occupancy 2, the final as-built survey, we also talked about the concept of having the contours
Oh,
of
1-foot contours.
of the grading be verified post.
Yes, that's K2.
K2, is that where it does?
On page 5 in the middle. The as-built survey shall show 1-foot contours.
All
And all-
utilities buried in the structure.
So yes,
Where, I don't see 1-foot contours.
Page 5.
Okay, am I on the wrong page? I am on the wrong page, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right there. 1 foot.
Yeah. Oh, 1-foot contours and all utilities, yeah, yes, sorry.
don't apologize. It was one thing we thought of as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
We talked about the dump trucks on
Right.
Rowan with the fire station, 200 yards
I was
down the
thinking
street.
Talked about hours, right?
We talked about hours. I didn't see that in here at all.
Yeah, we included some information relative to making sure that there's no queuing of vehicles, but we didn't.
Where is that again?
We didn't include anything relative to hours or numbers of trucks per day.
It's number F as in Frank. No queuing
Page
of
4.
parking of constructor vehicles, trucks shall be permitted
Yeah.
at any
Okay.
time along the road. No.
Yep.
So,
Is that good?
so we can add to F as well?
Don't think I have to myself.
The only thing we really cared about was the fire department.
Yeah.
And I think.
So they're not good, so I'm just thinking of a job site, and I can't think of any single job site that doesn't have trucks parked on the street.
Not this one.
That's gonna be impossible.
It's in there.
That's gonna be absolutely impossible.
Yeah, no, it would be the Darien Police Department, you can't park on the road avenue.
You can't
Especially
park on the road
that-
now anyway. Tell them you can't.
Okay, so
So
they're
we-
gonna park on
Side street.
side streets or on the site?
Yep.
That goes like this?
They said they had room on the side, but.
What's that?
Can we put in no parking in McWayne?
Uh,
Parking in the what?
No,
Um,
you can- they can park.
Oh.
Why would they park there?
I know, it's public park. They can park it, good lot.
So I guess that's not any different than any other project on the road avenue.
Yeah, you're right, there's been a number of construction projects on the road. This is kind of a, as Jamie acknowledged, this site drops down a hill.
Massive house on a lot that goes down 400 feet.
You could put, you could put 3 white vans.
Good question. But yeah, I mean, we can certainly add here, a recommendation that, nobody park on the road avenue, workers carpool, all that stuff. Because it's gonna be tight. I think all 5 commission members here say, when there's 10 or 15 guys on the site,
But we don't
there's
have.
not room for 10 cars.
Yeah, we don't
There's
have.
barely room for 5 cars.
We don't have to enforce traffic rules and a
Yep,
zoning
okay,
regulation
okay.
that's already
All right,
enforced by
all
the
right.
police department.
Got it, okay.
Right?
Right.
So I guess the only question would be, do you want to add a sentence about the landscaping?
Yes.
Yes, I think so, because it's
Okay.
important to the neighbors.
Okay. So, let me see if I can, applicant,
I thought they submitted that. I mean, I didn't see.
I didn't see anything formally submitted.
They did it with that.
Yeah.
Applicant referred to a desire to plant a number of evergreen trees on the western side, near the western property line. Commission hereby,
It was a landscape buffer. I mean, my big thing was that there was a like mulch, bed, so.
There's been nothing,
'cause it's gonna
mulch
get-
bed, 8 evergreens?
There was, how many feet is that thing? There was a lot. She said that we were gonna do a lot, but,
Okay.
I asked how many on center, and I said, you don't have to tell us now
Right.
and everything, but she was like, no, they'll be there.
Okay, so we'll require a plan submitted to staff prior to,
Bingo.
let me make sure.
See
Plan
that?
to staff prior to foundation permit or prior to work above the foundation?
Work above the foundation.
Okay? At minimum of 8 arborvitae.
Makes
With the
sense.
mulch
Well,
bed.
they don't have to be arborvitae, they just have to be some kind of evergreen tree. Which one's more generic?
the green giants grow fast.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're a price performer. I mean, that's what a lot of people choose.
That's what Capelli's got at his house, those
Yeah.
things are huge.
With
They
minimum-
They
down.
go
They grow,
fast.
they go good.
8 deciduous trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's that going?
Bottom of the hill.
Near the west proper line.
No, where's it going inside the resolution?
Where the trees going, look at that, we're in the resolution.
So like A, B, C, D?
Probably right after A. Right after A. You want me to read that aloud, or you got it?
So why don't you just read it aloud, then we can say yes.
Okay. During the public hearing, the applicant referred to a desire to plant a number of evergreen trees near the western property line. Commission hereby requires a mulch bed with a minimum of 8 deciduous trees,
Deciduous?
Deciduous evergreen.
evergreen trees. Let's just say evergreen trees.
Mhm.
Such a plan shall be submitted to staff prior to a permit for work above the foundation.
Yeah, because they're gonna need to get those installed. They won't be able to do it after the fact.
Yeah, right now they're trying to get the demo going, probably October, try to get the foundation in before the weather turns, and then they'll have to make a decision about, you're not requiring that the plantings be done,
The submission of the.
Just the submission of the.
yeah,
Just the submission, yeah, the plans don't have to be done
I was gonna say,
until-
that won't be able to happen, yeah.
The planning don't have to be
But
done.
you're right,
until-
getting them down there could be tricky.
They gotta figure, maybe they go through the neighbor's yard that's benefiting from.
There was also, I think it's covered as just part of the general architectural plans, but remember there was that they had to provide curbs on the driveway
That
going
is
down.
condition
That is
I.
in there, yeah.
It is in there?
That's what you beat him to death on that one.
Yeah. Because he's building a gigantic house on a tiny lot, and he could put in little, not even sand pavers, he was just gonna curb it, and I was like, he's about to save money.
It is a big house, but to be honest with you, the lot over a third of an acre is actually kind
I mean, it's.
Where is that?
It's two of them together
Condition
now.
I.
of big. Yeah, 2.37 acres. It's big.
Yeah, we're encouraging it, not requiring it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right. All right, with that said, I'm looking for a motion to approve this resolution as amended. Who's gonna make that motion? George makes the motion, looking for a second. Jane makes a second. All in favor?
5-0
5-0.
with amendments.
Fantastic. All right, next item up for bid, we did that. We're not gonna do any deliberations tonight. Do you mind if we pump the minutes till next time?
Nope,
That would be great.
That'd be great.
That'd be great, okay. The only thing I want to add to the chairman's report, I think everybody here toured the Corbin District.
I did not.
I was out.
Oh,
I
man.
was out, yeah.
You've seen it on the construction. One of the big things in the Corbin District is they're supposed to bury the power lines in front of the buildings, and they're still up there today. David Genovese and his team are still working their tails off to bury the power lines and pull it all together. He may need some help or some way, shape, or form. Are you up to speed on that too, Jen?
I am, I've been copied on the emails. You know, he's got, everyone who's got a wire on that pole has leverage on David, whether it's Eversource or other people. So he's trying to corral all the people involved, you know, try to run wires. It is, as he acknowledged, a lot more work. He's hoping to do it in the next few months. but
That's a
it's-
lot of frogs in the bucket.
It's a lot of people need to lend their wires.
He has to get, it's the one that go right in front of, it goes basically from I-95 all the way to Corbin. If you ever look at the corner of Corbin, there's the transformer it has black asphalt around it. The reason why that black asphalt in front of Bank of America is there is it's put up a couple, and that's where it's supposed to go. But all those wires are supposed to come down. It's three things, and then I wanted to check off. You have to get Eversource to do it, you have to get Cablevision to do it, you have to get Verizon to do it, some other company to do it, and then they're going through down Grove Street, or through Webster Bank.
They're doing some work on that property across the street, so he's had to reach out to people, Gina's and Grillo and others on that north side of the post road, let's call it, they're gonna run some backups and wires, and so he's gaining on it, but just like with everything, until you have everyone on board, you have no one.
Yeah, I got a sinking suspicion it's gonna get punted to 2026, because Gina's and Grillo's gonna not want construction trails in her backyard.
I
during
think
holidays.
David is, mentioned that specifically to me. If I can't get it by, say, early November, I got it.
Do you have to give any approvals? Do we have to
No.
give any approvals? It's already done, right?
It's already been reviewed.
Is that a condition of our resolution?
I don't think it was, because all along David's like, I'm gonna really try. I promise you, I'm gonna try. But I think,
It's not something that's in his control.
yeah.
But isn't there, in commercial projects, isn't there a reason that we have to bury power lines?
I know the commission strongly encourages it.
Okay.
Less maintenance.
All right, director's report, anything special, David? Jeremy?
No, nothing special. We're gonna be back here next week, October 7th, with a pretty full night, including the Vaccaro site plan. We have, gonna be looking at the houses going in at the corner of Herman and West, the vacant lot that's been cleared. We have potentially one or two mandatory referrals. Herman and West, across from Rings End. You can't miss it.
Oh, yeah.
Slightly sloping.
That was a blight house.
Clear. Nope, no house. There's never been a house
Huh.
at the corner of Herman and West.
There was
So,
a blighted one near there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1, 2.
There was a blight house.
Yeah.
pretty full, and then the 14th is also a full night. The 14th will be a POCD discussion with Neil Desai for about an hour. And then the commission's got 4 public hearings, including 23 Greenleaf.
For Ficaro's, is he gonna be, plan's gonna be finalized? Does he have to go back to ARB?
He does need to go back to ARB on the 21st.
So we might not even be looking at
Finalized.
the final plans.
They haven't seen the landscape plan yet, right?
The ARB requested numerous changes, so you can see that they're still working on them.
That's my point, is like, do we want to, like,
No, we do, we want to see it. We want to give them guidance, because we're more important than ARB. They're going to come to us, and then we send them to them. That's like I
But
said
I
to
think-
Chip Platt.
I think the key here
Oh,
is,
my God. Love.
is getting a read from Neil on the parking. Not Neil, Greg Del Rio from Hardesty in Hanover.
yeah.
How close are they on parking, sight lines, traffic? And Joe Canis has chimed in with some stormwater comments. I'm not sure Rob Pryor has gotten to those.
Okay.
So they're coming back on the 28th on the amendment, right?
That's correct.
And
So
they wanna combine
we got a
them.
very full
So they're going-
October and
they're going
November.
parallel.
They're doing a lot of parallel.
The guy moves fast, man. This guy goes for 20 years. These guys go for 20 days. You know, one's $250 million, the other is $25 million. Okay. Any other business? We're at 2 through roads. No other business. With that said, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Jamie makes the motion. Looking for a second? Amy makes a second. All in favor? Thank you, TV 79. Thank you, Karen.